minimum, they have to stay at least a good 5 to 10 minutes.
I wanted everyone to hear this, so I went live.
Yeah, so everyone has to stay in a minimum of 5 to 10 minutes if they want to be in stream, and maximum like 25 to 30 minutes, just so everyone gets some time.
These are Vince's rules. These are not mine.
I was like, these. What if some people want to stay longer?
Well, they have to wait until they have to rotate back in. They have to tag back in.
No,
These are the rules.
They're not Matt's rules. They're not my rules.
Yeah, they have to choose. Do they want to live or die?
Wow, my God.
Follow the rules.
Take it easy, Jigsaw. Jesus Christ.
Are you going to be with us on Sunday?
I was actually trying to figure out if you were recording Saturday or Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, I'm down. Depending on how late you guys go, I might leave towards the end, but I'll be there for like the good bulk of it. Basically, I'll be in there just to get my rocks off, and then right when you're getting ready to come, that's when I bounce and head out my way.
I kind of like. I prefer to come together, but
I mean, sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
I know that your priority is to make sure you get your nut, and if anyone else does, cool for them.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's terrible.
It'd be what it be.
It is what it is.
Crazy stuff in the NBA today, by the way.
Nobody cares.
unless you ask Bakley. Bakley keeps wanting to be on Straight Talk to talk basketball, and I keep forgetting to mention it to him. But it's like
it's very rude.
For instance, TC reached out and TC's like, "Oh, yo, man, like I need a spot." And he showed up, and we did it with TC. And then I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right. Bakley's been wanting to do basketball talk."
That's gingerist to Bakley.
Gingerism?
Yeah, ginger. I don't know. I'm trying to make
What up, noob?
That's okay. They don't have souls, from what I've been told.
Well, we haven't really started the show yet either, and I just sent out the tweet.
Mm-hmm.
I just got the notification.
Yeah.
Oh, you have my notifications on. That's so nice.
Oh, yeah. No, it's because I got tagged.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, we'll go with what you said.
I prefer it better the other way.
Tonight we dine in hell.
I'm gonna feast on your privates, Vince.
Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Don't do that on air.
300. Allison says 300, 300, 300. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
I believe that says 100. 100.
300.
Oh, yeah. 300.
Listen, when Matt Ritter says that he is going to do a stream topless to celebrate 300 and look like a Spartan, Matt Ritter shows up topless. However,
like you're missing Vince, what about me?
For the last Doritos for Matt, hell yeah. For the last year plus, they have been trying to get you to take your shirt off, and here you are with more clothes on than ever in the middle of the summer.
It's actually pretty cold in my basement, so the central AC is controlled by the first floor, which I am not in. So she's got that bitch blasting right now, and it feels like it's, I want to say,
sorry,
feels like it's 50 degrees in here. Where's that from?
Kenny posted a gif of Shotzi talking about how nice her hair looks, and I agree, her hair looks fantastic.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're looking at.
I want to see way more of her hair.
Sure.
Yes, Matt is shirtless.
I like how it's
because I said I was going to stream without a shirt on for 300. That's how I was going to celebrate. We're the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub. Got to tits out for 300, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not allowed to do that.
I'm not saying you or me. My tits out for 300. Yeah, see, Matt, Jesus is
no.
This is your turn.
It's not happening.
I'm here to please you, Jesus. I'm sorry that Vince is a prude.
Tits out for 300.
I only take my titties out for money. If you want me to take my tits out, subscribe to the Patreon for $1. Show proof. And then subscribe to Twitch. And then send me $5. And then send me $5 on my Cash App.
You're asking for a lot of things.
Travis said if he does swing by, he's going to be a little late. I sent out a bunch of invites. We'll see who, if, and when they show up. But you got a special intro, Vince?
No.
Okay.
No. I didn't get a chance. Well, I showed you what I had working, and then I had something tweaked, but exactly the same. But I'm like, let's just stick to what works.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna run the intro then.
All right. Go for it.
I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Listen, if there is a more prompt Canadian in the world, I don't know who it is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 300 of the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub, the Smackin It Raw Podcast. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, and as you can see, currently shirtless, quintessential stud muffin of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter. And I am here with my co-hosts, two people I love very, very much. The Pornhub Poppy, he won the race. We'll talk about it. Daddy Delgado, the Sultan of Spitter Swallow, my friend Vince.
What's up, Matt?
Runner-up in the two-man race for Pornhub Poppy, but most of the chat's personal Pornhub Poppy. She is the host of the Sheely Showcase Inside the Mind of, and in the crowd is not a thing, but we'll pretend it is.
It is.
And Storytime with Miss Katie Kinzy Bay. And back after a long absence, far too long. He left Twitter and me, but we still talk on Discord.
Don't take it personally. I left Elon more than anything else, Matt. That's who I left behind, and it's no big loss, really.
JJ wants you to take your shirt off, but it is Mr. Warren Hayes swinging in to celebrate episode 300 with us. See, I did what we talked about on Discord, where I did the Tony Khan announcements, and then finally I was like, it's gonna be episode 300. And then I started just making out I'm like, oh, I'll do episode 300 topless. And then I realized when I got here, I'm like, I need to take my shirt off for this episode. So here we are.
A victim of your own success.
He did show up with a shirt on, and then
I did not.
Initially, when it was just me and you had a shirt on.
I did not. Literally, you came back and said, before I even got on, I took my shirt off and threw it over the chair. And when you got on, you said, oh, you're really going to do this topless? And I said, yeah. And you're like, oh, well, I don't want to take my clothes off.
Hi, Travis.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man with which episode 300 would not be possible, without which episode 300 would not be possible, because he's the one that produces and puts up and does all this shit and let me have my own show. Lord Cusselot Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka Sweet T, aka T Money, aka T Pain in my ass, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC.
What's that?
Matt did not shave his chest for the show. You should be able to see the chest hair.
Do I want to know why Matt is shirtless right now?
Because Matt said he was going to do episode 300 shirtless, and I don't lie to the listeners.
Okay.
If it leads to more viewers, I'm not opposed to
I
it.
personally feel like you should be pantsless also, but
You don't know if I am or I'm not.
I don't.
We're good at this stage. This is fine. Let your fantasies run wild, people.
No, you're good at this stage. You don't speak for everybody here.
If we can move the live stream to Pornhub, if you ever get that working, then maybe we can talk doing a stream pantsless. I gotta get okay from Kate though.
I need Pornhub to act right about the videos we just upload first. All right.
That's true.
All right. I always for these big episodes like to get a little sentimental. So today's episode actually almost didn't happen because of work, real jobs, and things like that. But I'm here. We made it happen. Travis's sentiment was that we could not do 300 without me, so he was going to wait 2 weeks if we had to, and I appreciate that. However, I do want to acknowledge everyone here. Like I said, Travis, with whom this podcast would not exist, not just because he uploads and produces and does everything for the podcast behind the scenes, as far as getting it out to everyone, so I can just record content and then go about my happy day, but also. And you guys all know the story. When this started, Travis told me I had to have a co-host because he had other priorities and he couldn't be on every week. When I lost that co-host, Travis was here with me every week. He was here with me through the pandemic when all the shows were really hard to watch and we found other things to watch to keep entertaining you.
We watched all the Raw episodes and shit. That was fun.
Yes. Talked about Doug Furness. Shout out to Canada.
One time for Doug Furness. Yeah. That watch along is still pending review.
Okay. He gets everything uploaded, argued. Anything I say that gets us in trouble, he fights back and makes sure that you guys can hear me and see me every week. So, Travis, thank you. Vince, who then stepped in for my missing co-host, so Travis didn't have to be here every week, who is the one person other than me that can do these Smackin It Raw podcasts when I'm not available, because 9 times out of 10, if I'm not here, it's because of something with work. If you guys knew how many panic text messages I send to Travis and or Vince about me possibly not making the show compared to how many times I actually don't make the show, it's insane. But they're always there to fill in for me and run the show and make sure it gets put out. And without them, there wouldn't be 300 episodes yet. And of course, the person who fills in for Vince, when he takes months off, who is always there at the drop of a hat. I could text her 5 minutes before I'm going live and be like, Katie, I don't have a co-host, and she will be here. She has done streams with me. That just happened this week. That did just happen this week. For Creation Conversation. She's done streams with me from vacation, from her friend's house when she should be hanging out and spending time with them. She has always been there when I've needed her and has become a third member of our nice little family here over at Smackin It Raw. So thank you, Katie. And then Mr. Warren Hayes, who I honestly I have to go back and look, but maybe the person guest host wise we've had on the most.
Really?
Yes.
I have no part in the success of your podcast. To be honest, I disagree. I appreciate you trying to include me in the love fest, but honestly, like all of these people around me right now are direct contributors to the success of and making it to 300. I'm just a guy who pops in whenever he feels like it.
Which for the live stream is true, but the conversations that you and I have had off air between us in DMs, brainstorming ideas of things that you and I still haven't brought to fruition, like stuff with me watching NJPW on your show. But all the chats that we've had back and forth, you coming on and doing the show, and just the really fun episodes that we've had talking together, and me making fun of you, Japan, and your reactions to the off-brand shit that I sometimes say, has been a contributing factor, not into maybe getting to 300, but the success of the show and people tuning in and watching. So you have been a part of that, as every collaboration we've done, whether it was RN and Kyle from Smack Raw, our boys over at Young Kings Wrestling, Just in the Get Show podcast group, Pretty Kyle and his thighs, who is probably the only person that may have you beat for appearances on the show. Everyone over at the Bloodline Entertainment Network, Tim Bakley, who I'm going to send invites to, Will and Allison over at Botch Spots and Chair Shots, Clark Street Wrestling, Circle of Debate, like I said, Tim King Show, everyone over at Bloodline, Powerbomb Jutsu, who we've had on. We've had the Public Enemies on. We've had Sir Wilkins. Me and Katie did Sir Wilkins one night. We've had those wrestling girls on a couple times.
Come
Yes.
again.
Not only did we do Sir Wilkins
take it.
together, but then I gave him shit for being on Pornhub on one of his live streams, and he forgot that's where we put this.
Surprise.
So many people. Fowl, who was one of the first guests I've had, and came on before his tour for his album dropped, and came and promoted that, and just actually sat up with me like 2 hours after the stream and just gave me advice on podcasting and things like that. Guy's amazing.
He did the same thing for me. He was one of my earlier guests as well. And next thing you know, it's 6 hours later and we're still chatting, and he's a great guy.
All those collaborations and these three fantastic people to my right on my screen. It is all contributed to why I still get to do this, why I've got getting off, because apparently for whatever reason, I've convinced Travis that people like to hear me talk about things, so he let me do 2 shows and then put me on a third after years of trying. Also, Travis, I know you're probably coming up on 7 years, but I'm right around the corner from 6 years of our debut episode of this podcast in a couple weeks.
Whew. Yeah.
Crazy.
Insane. I'm gonna, just want to say, I want to thank you, Matt, because Creation World as it exists today would not work without you. If there's one person on the planet that I know I can count on anytime, anywhere, it's you. And I'm thankful for that 100%, which is why you're the one person who could convince me to come on and do this right now instead of playing Final Fantasy 16. You have no idea. I was debating remote playing it right here on my other screen right now while we're doing this, but I won't.
I still think you should.
I mean, I've done shows with you and built Legos, and I have considered playing Diablo.
Listen, if I start playing Final Fantasy 16 right now, you all will stop existing to me. So it's best if I don't. So I won't.
Is it good? You like it?
Oh, I fucking love it.
Yeah,
it is fantastic. I was telling Vince the other day, somebody made this comparison before, and it made perfect sense after they did it, because I knew, they said, they were leaning into the whole Game of Thrones thing, but they took it and they were like, I'm going to describe it a certain way. It's basically like Game of Thrones met Dragon Ball Z, and then Dragon Ball Z taught Game of Thrones how to do the fusion dance. That is what that fucking game is, and I love it so much.
That actually sounds like fun. That really does sound like fun.
And ladies and gentlemen, joining us from Botch Spots and Chair Shots and Rivet City Radio, it is a chef by trade and a mark by choice, and the boss bitch herself, Will and Allison. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Congratulations on 300.
Woo!
Cheers.
Thank you.
It's honorary ooze. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. Just wrapping up the day, and I saw you guys were live, and I was like, let's do this. Let's be as inappropriate as possible. Matt doesn't have his shirt on. I feel like I need to start derobing.
I was told you were going to show up naked.
Listen, while I'm handing out all these compliments, these two right here, because Allison is the only reason that the Pornhub exclusive watch along to Evil Head got posted, seeing as they had problems with it. She actually sat down, went through the entire video of the rack, Will and Katie watching that show, edited out all the stuff that Pornhub didn't like, sent it back to me so I could give it to Travis so we could get it up. And
I have no problem getting it up around Travis.
Yes, Warren.
I have a question.
Yes.
What could Pornhub not like?
It was actually the violence.
But so strangely enough, we have more trouble with Pornhub than we do with YouTube. No bullshit. The rules and stuff that go along with porn, they've had to get a lot more strict because they've had so many litigations and all that kind of stuff against them. There's actually a thing, right? I think I shared it on Twitter. They're actually no longer going to be available in Mississippi and Virginia now. It's a whole thing because new laws coming into place and the way they're implementing things is that's not going to work. You're actually only making things worse. So we're just not going to be available in Mississippi and Virginia now. So yeah, Louisiana, you have to upload your ID to watch anything on Pornhub now. It's
See, this is why I'm glad I don't live in Louisiana.
Aren't they doing it in Utah too?
They don't have it in Utah. Like Pornhub is not available in Utah. Yeah. That's been a while though. Yeah.
We talked about that on Creation Conversation, which brings me to Will. Will has definitely stepped in for us over here at Creation World. Whenever Mara was off and we needed someone to fill in the middle of the afternoon, at lunchtime, whether it was Vince, me, or Travis needing someone to work with, as well as inviting me and accepting me and all of my weirdness, including the latest episode of Botch Spots and Chair Shots and all the shit that I said on that episode, onto his channel and into his heart.
Were you shirtless there as well?
I was not. I had a tank top on though, and I got in trouble.
He was pumping iron. He started like weightlifting
shoulder.
and shit in the middle of the episode. He was like, "Oh."
Did you tweak your nipple a little bit at least?
He made Katie and Allison blush. Look
No,
at him
he
go.
did
Watch.
not.
He's gonna go. Look.
Oh,
See.
no.
Look at him go. I feel like I'm gonna start.
You're gonna get yoked over there.
I'm gonna derobe.
Oh Lord.
I keep it right by the chair just in case. Originally, the whole pumping iron thing was like people would talk about like Riddle or something New Japan or NWA that didn't interest me, so I just like work out as they talked. Show my disinterest.
Oh my god.
We just did a prediction show for Money in the Bank, and we
Cover the
definitely said Ritter over Riddle and did some Riddle hate for you.
I appreciate
That's the
that.
rules.
You're the second person that actually hit me up today and told me that during their live stream, they dedicated something anti-Matt Riddle to me. So I'm feeling very special on 300.
Matt, speaking of Final Fantasy, because I'm not done talking about that yet. Did you know this is like, I now have less time to finish this game because they moved up Baldur's Gate.
I did not know that.
Baldur's Gate now comes out on July 30th.
Well, then.
So I have this month.
So what you're telling me is you're never getting Diablo 4.
It's not happening, dude. Like, I wanted to. I really wanted to. You have no idea. It looks so good. But then, like, Final Fantasy happened. And then Baldur's Gate 3 comes out on the 30th of July. And then Starfield comes out. And then Spider-Man comes out.
Starfield looks insane. Like, I don't
does look
know how
amazing.
that game is going to be everything they say it's going to be.
We'll see. I'll be here to tell you all about it.
Katie, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Can you fill me in on what happened at the end of SmackDown tonight with the Usos, since I didn't get to watch the last hour? Like, I don't care about anything else other than the Bloodline stuff, because I watched Shotzi lose and that really disheartened me.
I know.
I saw a video on Instagram where they cut her hair.
They did cut. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, Matt, they cut her hair.
Yeah,
I was
bitches.
They got a little chunk out of there.
that's heated.
I was very irate. I was very irate as well.
Sounds like this is news to you, Matt. My bad.
I did not see that. I saw the match. I saw Bailey cheat to win and then walk away and stay in Money in the Bank and ruin my hopes of Shotzi in the Bank. However, I did not see her hair get cut.
Yeah, that happened. I'm sorry.
That's
Okay.
a tough one.
All right.
Yeah.
I bet she'll look really cute though with their new.
Oh yeah, she's gonna look super cute.
It's cute.
Super cute.
So, Bloodline.
Listen, I was not taking notes for today, and I've already been drinking. So what makes you think I remember something that happened 3 hours ago?
Because in the chat you said that it was really good, so I figured it would have stuck in your head.
I mean, Roman was talking his shit, saying he was the one, and the Usos aren't the ones. Jimmy and Jay come out, talk their shit, say Solo could be tribal chief, and Roman laughs, which gets the death glare from Solo. And then, brawling ensues. A cameraman gets taken out. Shenanigans. That's mainly it.
The brawl was fun.
Forgot one more thing earlier.
About Final Fantasy?
No, it's not about Final Fantasy. It's another thank you I got to put out there. We got to thank Tequila.
Tequila.
Because
Tequila?
let me tell you why. Because during those times when it was just me and Matt, one of the biggest parts of this show was how fucked up I would get and just mess with Matt the whole time. And there were times I didn't remember the show at all, and those were some of the best ones. So it's just
He's not lying.
Probably my first and earliest memory of doing this show was not even involving Matt because he was at the birthing of his daughter. So it was me, TC, and Travis was.
Oh, he tried to do that show anyway. By the way, just so you all know.
Yes, he tried to do the show even though his wife had just gotten.
But yeah, I was like, no, you will not.
In my defense, my daughter is awesome, and she made sure that she was born right before SmackDown started. So as they were cleaning my wife up and they were cleaning her up, I got to sit there and watch SmackDown, and then they both fell asleep. So I was just like sitting in an uncomfortable hospital room by myself while they were both passed out. I had nothing better to do.
Gotta kill time somehow.
Yeah, no, that's regardless though. That was one of the best moments, and Travis was fucking hammered. I think at some point he started singing like theme songs from TV shows,
singing sitcom theme songs.
Yes,
doesn't surprise me one bit.
That is also the start of the feud between TC and Travis because TC said mean things about Bret Hart, and Travis loves Bret Hart more than he loves most family members.
So disrespectful, man.
I have a memory from my first time being on Smackin It Raw.
What's that?
My very first time being on Smackin It Raw, there were two big things about that day. One, I literally took chemo and then did the show, so that was baller. The second thing was in the middle of the episode, I had to get up and run to the bathroom to get sick and then come back. And literally, I was like, minute, and I got up and ran off, and then I came back and sat down and put my headphones back on and picked the conversation up like I never walked out.
And if you listen to it, you would never even know that Will took off. I covered for him fantastically.
See the gangster.
And another shout out from episode 200 to 300 is Will's debut and the fact that he is cancer free.
That's the best thing that's happened on the show.
Not even close, but I appreciate that.
I mean, I'd argue that my new way of saying is that the hill you're going to die on from last episode is the best thing that's happened on the show, but
it's top three. It's top three.
Warden, if you are unfamiliar, instead of is that the hill you're going to die on, from now on we say is that the cock you're going to gag on.
And he says
or
we,
that,
he means him.
Of course. Yes.
It's
no.
It's
very appropriate for for our brand. So hey.
No, like I'm not even shocked. There's nothing shocks me about this show anymore.
Which is crazy.
On my show.
I loved. Well, it did start on your show, and then it was kind of started on your show. It was we tweaked it for this show, but yes, it did technically start on your show.
Mm-hmm.
Is Kristen still upset with me, Warren?
Oh, absolutely, terrifyingly so. No. It's
What
really
did Kristen?
Well, so the last time I had Warren on, we also had Kristen Ashley on. She was fantastic. After that, she did Inside the Mind of with Katie, the interview for for the PWI women's and all of that. And her and I were interacting on Twitter because she's still there and Warren's not there. And I was suggesting to her that maybe there's some content that we might have that her and Warren could watch for date night, exclusive watch alongs on a certain website, and told her I could tag her in some of the videos if she wanted. She profusely asked me to stop, so I did. As she shared the conversation with Warren,
of course, as she should. Of
course. Yes.
And then me and Warren had a laugh in Discord.
Yes, we all had good laughs, and I told her, I said, look, Matt loves me. I don't know what to tell you. He's working constantly to win my affections over. So she knows she's in a battle. That's fine.
I think a lot of people are in battle with her for your.
Every time I'm in your chat and she shows up, she mentions, "Oh God, there's the guy trying to steal my man."
That's a home wrecker.
How many men is that you've gone after? Because I know you have Pretty Kyle.
Pretty Kyle, Warren. That's three.
Will belongs to Vince.
Thank you, Allison. She knows.
I mean, I'm not really going after these men. I mean, the way I look at it is,
are you really?
You're just
the way I look at it is, when it comes to men, I have not necessarily an open relationship, but a easy connection. And if that is perceived as me flirting with, going after, trying to steal them from their girlfriends, that sounds like their girlfriends and or wives' problems. That doesn't sound like my problem.
I will say, Melissa has said on a few times, like, "Oh, the man I'm sharing you with." So she has claimed that she has to share me.
Allison has mentioned it multiple times on air that if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, you're the new host of Botch Bots and Share Shots.
I that is 100% correct. I have been chosen by Allison to replace Will. Also, one of my favorite things from the episode was Melissa letting us all know Vince's favorite porn search history, which is apparently men that look like me.
True.
Especially now that you're shirtless.
Hey, we were just talking about you, Kristen, and now she's here.
It's like she knew.
Celebration, bitches.
It not only is it a celebration, but pending review, there is now a third video that you and Warren can watch on date night together over at Pornhub.
Yeah, see what they do. You know, I just got a notification like 3 days ago that a video was approved from back in January.
What?
That's awesome.
January?
Was it a Smackin It Raw episode?
No, it was a creation conversation. Just some random creation conversation. I think it was from the 26th of January. Let me look. Hold on. I got the email.
Have we really been doing creation conversation for 6 months now?
You've been doing creation conversation all year. Yeah.
Really? Jeez.
Awesome.
Kristen, we were talking about you making your Pornhub debut with Warren and promoting the PWI Women's 500 and also your interview with Katie. So that's how we were talking about you because you were a part of the show. Everyone who has been on an episode has been a part of the success of 300 episodes. So thank you for coming by.
Except one person, but I will not mention it on stream. Well, Matt knows exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
If you know, you know.
So the episode is from January 12th.
You do.
It was just a random thing. It was like, yeah, the episode title was "What do Vince McMahon, Xbox, and Alabama Elementary have in common?" It's from the first.
That's one of the earlier ones.
Yeah, January 12th.
So we can see you, right?
Yeah.
What? What about it? I'm aware. Anyways,
Listen,
continue.
how else am I going to steal your man? I had to up my game. It hasn't worked so far. I had to invite him on and take my shirt off. It's the last option I have, Kristen.
What's his name?
I try to be a reputable member of the press and media, and then I show up on Matt's show and I end up shirtless within 5 minutes.
I mean, you also put me on your show and let me say all sorts of weird shit. What's up, Reek? Ladies and gentlemen,
Reek.
from the Havoc Hour, also
Reek's
part
like,
of the Core 4 with Katie, me, and Justin over at Getting Off. And as I like to refer to him here on this show, Dr. Reek Baker, BBC, the only BBC on the show with a PhD. How you doing? How you doing, man?
Couple things. I can't stay too long. I do have to work in the morning, but I got to clear my schedule for my people.
I got a meeting in the morning myself, by the way, but
Yeah, and Travis is here. That's perfect. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see some bright faces, but why are you naked, sir?
Because if you've been listening to the show, I said I was going to celebrate episode 300 topless, so I'm topless.
You did.
Tits out for 300.
This man has his dick out. I need him to put it away immediately.
Stand up and show him, Matt. Stand up and show him, Matt.
We talked
Show it to
about
him.
that only on Pornhub.
Full frontal right now.
Before I do that.
Well, it's
Full frontal or you're fired.
Actually,
wait.
you know for a fact because we've talked about this, and I believe we talked about it on air with Kate. Kate has told you were not allowed to pimp me out or my pride.
I was there for that conversation.
Yes. So
do not stand up, says JJ.
Jesus says, yeah, JJ says do not stand up. You're not allowed to stand up.
Yeah.
The question for me is, do you have pants on or not, Mateo?
that is a mystery that may never be solved.
I'm taking
I
my
need to
pants
stay
off
a
then.
mystery.
He has pants on.
But yeah, no, Reek, I've been since you're here, I've been showing everyone that's shown up a little love, and like I said, getting off started over at the Havoc Hour, which is the second show that I now have, because the Havoc Hour just fucking disappeared. But everything we did over there was the basis for getting off, let alone everything that you, me, and TC have done together over here on Smackin It Raw, all the fun shit we've made, the cross promotion back and forth between the t-shirts that we had for sale for pro wrestling, pro-choice, and then the Black Lives Matter shirts you guys had for sale that we were promoting, that TC still has up for sale. If you guys want to go check those out, all those proceeds go to a good cause, so you should go pick one up. NWO style Black Lives Matter t-shirts available from Young Kings Wrestling. But yeah, no, we've done a lot of dumb shit together, Reek.
Oh, well, for sure. That's not even a question. Honestly, I think really when we collab with you guys, that kind of started this whole multiverse of podcasting friends and different shows that we kind of branched off into. So I mean, we always got love for y'all at this show.
I did love that TC got really mad that I was getting more black collabs than you guys were for a little while.
I mean, it was true. Like,
this is very true. Like, we couldn't get black folks on the show during Black History Month, so that kind of tells you something in itself.
Shame.
You actually helped them link up with Public Enemies.
I did.
That's true.
I'm saying, you see how black people do you? It's so crazy because I DM'd them like several times, like, hey, what's the schedule like? You know, we trying to do a Black History show, and even after Black History Month, like, let's get a collab together. It was always, yeah, this day, that day. And it wasn't until after Matt talked to him that, oh, yeah. And we only got one of them. We didn't get everybody, but
I only got one of them, too.
It counts.
Yeah, too.
That's true.
I'd just like to point out that you didn't ask me. So, must not have been trying too hard.
Well, see, I was trying to get.
I don't want your excuses, sir. I don't want your excuses.
Your own show for the longest time. Matt was like, "Hey, he doing this show, that show. He don't got time for us." You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay.
Oh, you're talking about you were talking about the ill-fated Part 2 Dragon Ball Z podcast that still never happened.
Oh, it's never gonna happen, guys. Just drop it. Holy shit.
I still, in my heart of hearts, believe that at some point it'll see the light of day.
It's never gonna happen. The four of you cannot come together and do it.
Also,
I think the four of us can come together.
For
I
the
had a problem with the four of us coming together.
Not you.
Also, in the spirit of 300 and remembering and good fond memories, I brought something else back, y'all.
Uh-oh.
Oh, geez.
Oh my God, the panda gift.
So for anyone who has been listening is not aware, there was a running gimmick when it was Travis and I on the show, where we would start every episode. I would play some music off my phone, and Travis would DM on Instagram Mercedes Monet, back then Sasha Banks, with a random panda gift in hopes that she would at some point just ask him what the fuck was going on. Never did.
Never happened.
First one she's gotten in how long?
Let's see. I was actually scrolling back to see the first day that I did it was September 12th, 2019. If you go, the last time I did it was July 31st of 2021.
Oh, so it's been way over a year, actually.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years. Poor Mercedes. She's just trying to heal from her injury. She missed Forbidden Door, and now you're out here just randomly sending panda gifts again.
If one day she opens up and just looks.
Her social media team's probably like, what the fuck?
I'm still surprised he hasn't been blocked yet.
Well, that's the thing is, if she's not following me, she probably doesn't even see it, because that's the way Instagram works. If you're not following the person, it gets put in a whole separate thing of messages that you have to accept first, and she probably just ignores all those. So
that's right.
True.
While we're showing love to people that have helped make this show possible, in the chat is my boy Mike. I know him as Kill Bill. I met him playing Xbox, and we bonded over wrestling, and now he is pretty much the moderator and the one that runs our Facebook group for us. He does all the chats, puts up all the chats for us, handles the banners, lets me know anytime there's a bot or some kind of spam in there that we need to get rid of, and has been holding it down. And I got to meet him in person twice. I got to meet him at Money in the Bank. He was nice enough to take the Smackin It Raw sign that they would not let me hold up and hold it up for me farther back, because apparently my sign was a little too close to the commentators and they didn't like that. So he grabbed that, and then we hung out, and he did an episode with us from the parking lot that Travis was hosting. And then recently I drove up to Michigan so my wife could buy weed, and it's out there because he lives there. And we hung out in Walmart parking lot and just bullshitted for a little while. And I'm pretty sure the ghost that was in my car left my car and stayed with him in Michigan. So
God.
Wait, I hosted what now?
You hosted a Money in the Bank recap when I went to Money in the Bank here in Chicago in 2018, the year Alexa Bliss won. And then I called in, and me and Mike and Trent all got on the phone call, and we did an episode.
I vaguely remember that. Okay, got you.
I wasn't there, so you had to host it because Vince wasn't here yet.
I was not conceived yet.
Yeah.
Ew. Take it easy.
Were you still working for the other guys?
2019?
2018.
2018? I don't even think I was
I don't
podcasting.
think you were.
Raise your hand if I stole you from another podcast.
To be fair, I left and had my own first before
We
you
made
stole
the
me from
decision
you.
to leave, and then it just kind of happened. We have my relationship with Creation World and Smackin It Raw is like that situationship where you find yourself sleeping with the same person for 6 months, but you're not in a real relationship.
Are
with them.
you all from the same place?
Who?
Yes.
At different points in
We all
time.
were, yeah.
Yes.
Different points
Except
in
for
time.
Reek.
Except for
Well, I know where Rick came from. We don't speak
know
that right. We're not speaking of that right now.
Yes. We
yeah.
all were
because
part
you
of
know,
the off
fuck
brand.
TC and 4 motherfuckers that look like TC. But
We still doing with this long-term bullshit. We still doing this?
So the funny part
Never
about
ending.
like how we got on that particular situation is that I was confused about a similar name and thought that we were actually joining y'all.
No.
It's true. She has told me the story before.
Oh, I've never heard this story. This is funny.
However,
it's funny.
I
Y'all do know that the name of the podcast is the only reason why it exists, right?
Pretty much.
I was not going to do a podcast if it wasn't called Smackin' It Raw. Like,
Fair.
literally, I was given 2 stipulations. So I've talked about this, but Travis was podcasting prior to me getting into podcasting. I was running my Facebook group and all that, and I've known Travis since 3rd grade. So Travis, my other best friend John, who I've determined is now my second best friend because we had a whole discussion about whether or not Travis would have sex with men to save my life, and John wouldn't, and Travis would. So Travis is number 1.
Yeah.
I've known John since I was 3.
We have to throw hands after I did it, but yeah, I do it.
All that aside, Travis and John were doing the creation conversation in the old format that it was done, and I was hounding Travis, hey, let me come on, let me do the show. It's Halloween, and I love horror movies, and nobody knows horror movies on the show as well as I do, and he just kept telling me to go fuck myself. So finally I came to him with a proposal.
In my
for
defense, I
Smackin' It
never
Raw.
said go fuck yourself.
It's
That's not a phrase that Travis uses. So no, I did not say that.
in so many words. So I came to him with a proposal for doing Vince will be back, I'm sure.
I was like, what-
If not, who cares?
It wouldn't be a proper 300 if Vince didn't disappear for a few.
Exactly. Warren knows.
So anyway, I came to Travis with a proposal for Smackin' It Raw, and then he told everyone, I was always going to let Matt do a wrestling show. I just had to figure it out. I don't believe that. I just wore him down. And he told me 2 stipulations. I have to have a co-host because he can't do it every week because he's doing other shit. And it has to be called Smackin' It Raw. And I had no issues with either of those. I found one other podcast that had like 4 episodes out named Smackin' It Raw, and they hadn't done anything in like a year or 2 years. So I was like, yeah, no, we'll take that. That'll be us. And we did. And now we've been doing it going on 6 years.
Wait, so you joined the other show of whom we will not speak because you thought it was us?
Yeah.
100%.
That's why.
Wow.
Yes, Will knew what he was doing, but like I was, I guess, just confused.
When I pitched the idea to her, she thought I was pitching it to join with you guys and didn't realize I was pitching it to join them guys.
So I said yes because I liked y'all. And
Jamie
honestly,
Rose,
I didn't know
No.
anything about the
Jamie.
other, but like I love the other guys. Like they're amazing people, and we learned a lot. But yeah,
I want to thank Jamie Rose for the follow.
Jamie
Warren,
Appreciate you.
Rose.
I was going to say earlier, I didn't technically steal you from them, but I met you over at Smacked Raw.
You did,
That's where you and I first met up.
And quite frankly, all of that was very confusing. Regardless, like even if I wasn't looking to join anyone specifically, it was all very confusing, and I'll tell you why. Because Vince was the first person, from the internet sphere of pro wrestling that I met face to face. He's the first guy that I met, and introduced ourselves. We were at an Impact pre-show, right? Where like the fan show.
Impact, damn. Okay.
Were there like 5 people in the audience? Was it just you?
No.
The
place was packed.
The place was packed.
Did those people know what they were there for?
It's mostly indie wrestling.
The main event was Shotzi's last match before leaving to WWE. It was Shotzi versus Kylie Ray versus Lane Luck.
Yeah, it's a fantastic match.
And it was really, really fun. It was the best of the entire show. And so so we introduced and whatnot, and then I look him up after, and I'm like, Smackin It Raw, and I didn't know where he was anymore. Like Vince is on one of these, and I was embarrassed to not properly remember, but it's all very confusing.
I was on both. I was on both teams for a minute there.
I'm always on both teams, so it doesn't matter. Thank you.
How do you feel about those folks that will not be named?
Me?
Well, both of y'all.
Yeah, Vince, you can go first. You
Okay,
left before I did.
Well, honestly, I just left because I just couldn't do podcasting anymore because I was working literally every single day out of the week. And it wasn't until like after I left that Matt is like, "Hey, you're a free agent now. I need a co-host. By the time you get out of work is when we're usually recording, so we could do this." So I have no ill will. I love RN. That's my dude. We used to talk NXT all the time back when it was fun. Not so much now, but everything's cool. Kyle gave me my shot with podcasting. If he didn't give me my shot, I probably wouldn't have met any of you guys. So nothing but positive things.
I did so Vince invited me.
We're just cooler than them. It's okay.
Well, Vince did invite me over to do Smacked NXT with RN and Jay Thunder, and that's how I got introduced to Kyle. Kyle brought me on to do Unpopular Wrestling Opinions, and apparently I was a hit over there.
I did that one once, didn't I?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
I did.
I come to think of it, Matt, because it's.
Don't be judging me. I just be doing shit, y'all.
Doing an episode of that, right?
Yes. Yeah. You and I met doing an episode of Unpopular Wrestling Opinions. I made you laugh and you liked me, and then I've never let you go since.
You've been submitting ever since, Warren.
Pretty much.
And I've talked about this.
Actual.
Every podcast that I have collabed with, whether it's just because of me promoting this show on my personal social media or whatever, I have had the impression, because Warren, and I've talked to him about this, likes to call him the best C-list podcast out there. And I've told him he's at least a B-list. At least a B-list. I've always had the impression like everyone was farther along in their followings and everything, because Travis still to this day, going into 6 years, will not tell me how many people watch or listen to my show. The only indications I have now are the YouTube watches and then the Pornhub watches. So I can check that out to see who's watching the video, but I have no idea how many people are actually listening to the audio version of the podcast. And I never have and probably never will. So I had no idea how big our following was.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Travis was going to say something.
No, I was reading this like, what was everyone's first experience with the rack? My first experience with the rack was way back in the day when I was like 13 years old. So
whoa,
I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I was there for the inception of the rack.
Yes, you were.
We have talked about this, and Herbie actually said we need to get all together for a part 2. But there is an episode of Smackin It Raw called "The Rise and Fall of HKW: The Greatest Wrestling Promotion You Have Never Heard of." HKW was the name of the promotion that we created when we were backyard wrestling on my trampoline. We all had extensive characters that we had created and used. Travis was a huge fan of The Rock. I was a huge fan of Stone Cold. So I decided I'm going to make the Gilbert version of The Rock, and I called him The Rack. His finishers were the rack bottom and the people's low blow, and also Mr. Racco, which was a thing. All of that existed. He lost all the time because he was supposed to be the Gilbert, and that's what he was there for. And he would lose by DQ because all of his moves involved hitting someone in the nuts in front of the ref, which automatically causes a DQ.
Like Mr. Racco was literally him grabbing your nuts. So
yes, with a sock on.
Because you gotta use protection. Yeah.
The Rack first made his debut as a surprise, I think, on a pay-per-view post show that we had Phil.
It was
on.
a pay-per-view watch along,
yeah. Where I just decided
not watch along, that recap.
I just decided to do the voice and bring it on because it was something from our past. You know, you, me, and Phil had all grown up wrestling together, and I was like, I got a surprise for you guys, and it was kind of a hit. I was a little worried that I might get in trouble for, you know, the gender fluid, non-binary. Like, I didn't want people to think I was making fun of people. So the Rack was used sparingly, but it was a hit. People enjoyed it. And now he hosts all of our Pornhub watch-alongs.
Yes, he does, unfortunately.
It's amazing.
No, it's not.
Say unfortunately, but I feel like you enjoy the Rack more than most people.
Listen here, Katie. I am not going to have you sitting here. I'm not going to sit here have you talking bad about the Rack like you don't enjoy your time with the Rack. The Rack, we all know, with your favorite person to podcast with, Katie. It is what it is.
Says who?
Says the Rack, and that is the only opinion that matters.
Incorrect.
The Rack has never been incorrect in his life.
That is incorrect.
No, that is 100% correct.
Is the Rack completely naked compared to Matt?
That idiot Matt Ritter was completely naked. The Rack is wearing one of those tuxedo banana hammocks, the thong.
I also have a tuxedo banana hammock.
What a coincidence. So am I wearing one of those.
Listen,
wow.
JJ, it is summertime. The Rack had to cut his hair. It'll be back.
JJ, how do you know about the hair?
Hey, yo. Easy.
The carpets match the drape.
But he wears the hair for a very specific thing, though.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The only way you would know about I also wore the hair. Vince and I did a Halloween episode, and I dressed up as Silent Bob. And
yes.
So the hair I actually had for a Mankind
but
that I did.
But that wasn't for the Rack, though.
Yeah, no, that's correct.
Then it became a thing for the Rack.
Then it eventually became a thing for the Rack. The hair, I actually think that hair I got for a Mankind costume. It's back there, but you can kind of see the Mankind mask I have hanging up back there. So I went as Mankind, and Kate went as Cactus Jack. We did a couple's costume because we couldn't find a third person to do Dude Love. So we did that, and then I had the hair, and I used that, and I went as Silent Bob, and my brother-in-law went as Jay. So we were Jay and Silent Bob, and I literally went, which will be a huge surprise to everyone, but Kate can confirm it, the entire night not saying a word. And as everyone, like my mother-in-law and everyone, got more drunk, they got more annoyed by the fact that I refused to speak to them and would just gesture throughout the whole night, which made it even more fun for me. So that was a thing that we did for Halloween. But no, I came on as Silent Bob, even though I talked, and we did a Halloween episode. Me and Vince, we dressed up for Halloween.
I kept changing hats that episode.
Yeah, you weren't slick about it either.
No, that was the whole point. I wasn't trying to be slick about it.
I was just saying.
Warren, have you done a show with the Rack?
I think I've been introduced to the Rack, and that's what I'm trying to remember, because I feel like you did pull him out at some point, and I feel like you did have hair.
You more than likely definitely have done an episode with the Rack.
I think so.
That, or he asked me who the Rack was, and I introduced him in like a post show.
No, it had to have been an actual show.
I'm pretty sure.
Because the big fun with me with the Rack for a little while there was how uncomfortable he made everyone else, because I'd flirt with everyone as the Rack. Like Eric hated it, Travis hated it. The Rack
I hated it for very different reason, though.
The Rack has a huge thing for Reek.
He does.
Oh my god.
It does.
He refers to Reek as a sexy milk dud. Loves him some Reek Havoc.
Every time.
Yeah. That's a regular thing.
Every time he's on screen. Reek doesn't even have to be there, and the Rack is gushing over Reek.
Well, look at him.
Yeah, if I'm commenting, if I'm watching the stream, there it is.
Game over.
JJ said, according to Google Podcasts, the first episode she listened to was episode 109. So she has been with us for almost 200 episodes. And we love you, JJ. JJ has been on the show and part of the success. As a matter of fact, we had JJ and Jaylan on the beats, Justin Landry at Heel Tactics on together. And if you guys are unaware, another big shout out and part of the success of the pod.
Give me a second. I'll come back.
There we go. Big shout out and success of the podcast is Justin over at Heel Tactics, because he not only remixed and made the music for Smackin It Raw, he made the music for Getting Off. He's done a bunch of stuff for Travis and projects that Travis has in the works. Dungeons After Dark he made, even though there's only one episode of that out available, and it's still the most watched thing we have on Pornhub, surprisingly.
It's only surprising to you.
Everything for Katie's shows, all the stuff. He did Young Kings. He's done Vince's stuff. Everything that we've done, Jaylan has pretty much done and mixed the music for outside of the creation conversation.
He's done two of our shows too.
Yep, and two of Will's shows. So
yeah,
he was also on episode 200, and
he was also
so uncomfortable. That poor man.
Wow. I have a tendency to make the meek a little uncomfortable, and I love him. He's a little meek.
He's a little meek.
What a word.
Well, I mean, he wasn't that meek because he showed up on the show. There's some people who won't even allow themselves to be
Matthew,
on
if there's
the show.
Matthew, there's one thing we learned from from our days at Calvary Academy is blessed are the meek, So
that is true. That is true.
I mean, that's specifically a Bible verse we had to memorize back in the day. So,
I mean, we had to memorize all of the Bible verses
basically
from first to eighth grade. So
yeah.
That sounds like an awful time.
All the Bible.
So you were in the Christian school and you still managed to piss off a pastor.
Listen, just because I made your best friend that you chose over me, your new favorite white boy angry, that's not.
I'm here, right?
That's true. That's true.
To be fair, he's not everyone's favorite pastor.
To be fair, the best way to piss off a pastor is to fight fire with fire, and when you know the Bible as well as they do, it really upsets them.
It really does. They don't expect it either, because it's one of those like, dude, I've forgotten more Bible than most people have read in their life. So don't it's not a good look when you try to match Bible verses with me. Don't do it.
I forgot about him.
We all did.
It is what it is.
We all did. For good reason.
Allison, you actually specifically, since we're talking about experiences with the Rack, invited the Rack to do the first show of Botch Spots and Chair Shots that you yourself hosted, and immediately regretted it.
No, I didn't regret it at all. It was fucking amazing.
Because it was an all-girls episode with the Rack and Katie and Allison.
Oh.
It was amazing. No, I love the Rack. I'm here for it.
I'm glad somebody does.
I just think it's fantastic. I don't know. I love a good gimmick.
I also,
but it's not good.
That's why the Undertaker is the greatest wrestler of all time.
Though. To be fair, I did an Inside the Mind of with the Rack. So that was 45 minutes of Matt staying in character.
How were you
doing an interview?
To be fair, he's had 20 years to perfect the gimmick. So it's like
But specifically about that episode, it was relationships in wrestling. So it was the Rack discussing relationships for an hour and a half.
Oh wow.
That's what made it great. The Rack was discussing other people's relationships.
That's true.
And on that Inside the Mind of the Rack, which we promoted the shit out of, and we did all those Halloween pictures and had a blast with
the thumbnail.
We learned way more about Katie than we did the Rack.
Yeah, what the fuck?
So we technically had like two inside.
Wait, what did we learn about Katie? I missed that.
That's
one.
none of your goddamn business. You can go watch the episode.
What you mean it's none of my business? It's the whole internet's business, Katie.
I'll be honest. I don't even remember what the fuck I said in that episode. That was a year ago. Probably a little more.
Well, good news for you. I don't care enough, so I'm probably not going to go looking for it.
I'll tag you in it, Travis. I got you. Listen, I don't know what the Rack and Charlotte would be doing together because the Rack is not a fan of a person who can't hit a proper moonsault. So I don't think that's going to be. I'm
glad I'm not the only one who hates that shit. Like
her moonsault's trash. Let's talk about it.
Oh, she does just a backflip and just lands next to people.
My never said her moonsault was good. I just like her in general, but no, her moonsault's shit.
We know, Katie. We know you're biased. You're gonna say anything that Charlotte does.
Doesn't matter, Trish.
But I mean, hang on, folks. Okay, like let's give her time. She's only been wrestling for a decade. Okay,
she's only had 10 years to learn how to do a moonsault.
What is it I said?
Every fucking time she's gonna nail it at some point. Fingers crossed, Charlotte, baby. You go, girl.
Eventually, she's actually going to land on somebody with the moonsault, not next to them standing up.
Yeah, I was about to say, like she lands it in a sense that she's landing perfectly on her feet. But in terms of actually hitting somebody, I mean,
what did I say?
She's like, I think it's great that she does that. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna do Andrade's moonsault into a standing moonsault when I can't even fucking land a normal moonsault.
If Vader at 350 pounds can land a good moonsault, I feel like anybody can. Or
Vader, Bam Bam Bigelow. There are plenty of guys that looking.
Well, let's be fair. Bam Bam didn't do a real moonsault. He kind of did like a full little twist thing like sideways.
Oh yeah. At the 45.
Better than Charlotte's, but it's still not a perfect moonsault. Is all.
Okay, so let me ask you this question because Travis and Phil used to call my version of a swanton bomb the donut roll. Did I do a better swanton than Bam Bam did a moonsault?
The question is, did you do a better swanton than Jeff Hardy?
No, I did not.
Jeff Hardy now or Jeff Hardy then?
Well, maybe now. Important. Maybe.
That is the catalyst.
It's very important.
I think I'd take your donut roll over Bam Bam's moonsault.
I need to see the donut roll.
I'm about to say now we need footage.
I want to see how
you need a VCR first, and we need to find the.
I actually still might have the tape in my garage somewhere. We just need a VCR.
Let's go.
I think I have a VCR.
We recorded one episode of us. So what we would do is originally I'm going to date the shit out of us. So all you youngins, all you minors listening that have no idea, we would literally listen to the radio and we would record a song that we liked on the radio so that we could play it back on a cassette tape as our entrance music. And we would have to rewind and fast forward through the cassette to set our stuff up before I got a CD player and we could just skip to the songs
I did that shit too. I used to do that shit all the time.
Then we had CDs and we were able to skip to the songs we wanted to do our entrance video. We would walk from my front door across my deck and down the brick pathway that I helped my parents build to the trampoline as our entrance way. Nice. We even tried to do a ladder match, but it wasn't really a ladder match because it was like, so my parents
we put the build on top of the shed, didn't we?
No, well, I think we did that once too, but there was like a treehouse / swing set that we deconstructed and then put next to the pool as like the stairs up to the pool as a platform that me and my dad kind of makeshift made. And then we just climbed up to the top of that and threw each other into the pool. I had a character called the Saint who did the Razor's Edge. I called it the Sanctifier. I gave Travis that twice and almost killed him both times. Once onto a thick sheet of ice, and then once off of the trampoline onto folding chairs that ended up separating, and he just went straight to the ground off the trampoline.
Oh my fucking!
With a cross power bomb.
What kind of Nick Gage shit is that?
Listen, I'm a fucking pro. Okay, I know how to take a bump. I was fine.
You know? But you're telling me you as a black man took a bump on solid ice.
To be fair, I didn't know that was going to happen. But yes, I did. And once again, though, I'm a fucking pro, so I was fine. You know.
Also, my entire life, I've been deceptively strong. So Travis and I have It's gone back and forth, but we've pretty much been the same size and same weight the entire time we've known each other. Younger, he was always a lot skinnier than I was. But I was never able to not pick
ridiculously flexible back then. It was crazy.
Yes, very flexible.
Pardon, come again.
Two other things that I'm not so proud of that I did. I accidentally cracked my friend Phil across the forehead with a broomstick and left a giant welt across his forehead that we then tried to hide with a baseball bat. That didn't go so well.
I mean, baseball cap.
Yeah, baseball cap.
Baseball
and then
I was about to say.
You hiding with the bat.
I can't remember if it was WrestleMania 17 or WrestleMania 18, but
It
Phil
was
would always,
whatever year Undertaker came back as the Undertaker.
when I broke that kid's collarbone.
Yeah. Because I distinctly remember you when that same night that kid sitting on the couch, I'm like, and you holding up the belt as the whole thing because we had actually just screwed Phil over to get the belt away from him and shit. But yeah.
So one of my friend Phil's buddies came over. We were all doing the backyard wrestling thing, and he didn't really want to participate. So I thought I'd show him. I think he was afraid of like taking a bump on the trampoline. I'm like, oh, dude, it's nothing. And I picked him up to do an F5. And he held on to me, and I broke his collarbone because he wouldn't let go. And then he sat through the entire WrestleMania pay-per-view with a broken collarbone. I didn't find out till like a couple days later from Phil that he had to go to the hospital because his collarbone was broken.
Matrick, we just got a new follower, and it's probably my favorite one ever.
I eat booty for fun. Shout out, I eat booty for fun.
That's a name. That's
yeah.
a name.
Shout out to you,
man.
I'm getting.
I
was
going to say Katie. Not too long ago.
Katie, what happened, Katie?
The Katie crew was created. We got a new follower from it was something piss, right?
Something
like that
or something.
Yeah, I peed
myself.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Who came in the chat and talked about how beautiful Katie was, called her White Beauty, which is my second favorite novel next to Black Beauty. Said some things. How did he put it?
Oh man, what was something about she could be my mommy on Gang or on Pyru or some shit
that
like
one.
that.
That one there. The second
that
one.
That one. The second one. That was it.
I remember you telling me about this happening. I didn't know the name.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I eat booty for fun.
But I legitimately have a question. Who eats booty like via obligation? You know, like isn't that like by?
If you eating booty, you're doing it because you want to do it. Like it's
Well,
if it's not, you shouldn't be doing it.
It doesn't make you special. I eat booty for fun. Like it doesn't make you. It doesn't make you unique.
I mean,
I applaud you, sir, for doing so because you know what? Somebody got to eat them groceries, all right? And
I'm pretty sure there are people in prison who aren't eating booty for fun, but due to obligations. So
no. I don't. No.
Speaking of which, the booty water out of jail.
Territory. So you're telling me people get forced to eat booty? That's what we're saying. We're going down a very dark path here, Matt. We're going down a very dark path.
Hold on, Reek. He's married. What? Yes. Right. I gotta find the thing. Hold on. Go, y'all keep going.
Wow, that's real. Wild.
Does anybody else know what I'm talking about?
I didn't even hear you.
No.
Anybody watch the Boondocks? Fleece Johnson. I like you and I want you.
Oh yeah.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Yeah.
It came from a real thing. That's not just the Boondocks thing.
Yeah.
That came from like an actual prisoner who like said this in an interview, like for real. Like he's out of jail now. And hold on, let me
wait. Time out. That was real?
Yes.
Oh my!
That's crazy.
Warren, how did you enjoy the Forbidden Door, or as I called it, Backdoor Sluts 9?
Oh, he's been out for a while. He's been out since June 2016, bro.
What the?
He's been out and about for 7 years.
Yeah, but there's an interview he did. He was like, he's married, he's got a wife and all that, but he said he missed booty.
Does he not get it from his wife?
He gets pussy from his wife. He said he missed getting booty. He said, like what he said was he went to jail at first when he was 14.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got transferred to like actual prison when he was 16. And he just got, I think he served like 40 something years. So,
and see, the thing is, right?
The first time he had sex was from the booty.
Yeah, getting some booty is more important than
food.
eating food. It's more important than drinking water. You know what I'm saying? And he was dead serious with the crazy eyes and shit in the interview when he said this. Like, so it's like, yeah, I like you, and I want you. So we can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way. You know, the choice is yours.
The choice is yours. Oh man, that's one of the best episodes of the Boondocks.
It is.
And I feel like booty is the perfect transition for Forbidden Door. Warren, you were saying you enjoyed Forbidden Door.
Yes, tremendously, and I was there too. So it was.
I know you were.
Nice.
What was your favorite match?
Omega Osprey. Unquestionably, that shit was fantastic. And then and then the 10-man match also was a blast. But everything was really good. Everyone was really super into it in the audience too. Like that always helps. But I thought it was a phenomenal show. Maybe I'm biased because of course I was there and the energy of the crowd is really different. But that show was outstanding.
Oh yeah, it was in Toronto, wasn't it?
I just sent it to you, Rick. Check your DMs.
I was in the shower the other day, and I came to a conclusion that because he is a signed AEW wrestler, because he is doing all of these things, that I will start calling Takeshita. There's no reason to. However, Itchy is still Itchy. Titty Sewer Nato is still Titty Sewer Nato. Hariyoshi Tamagotchi.
Titty Sewer what now?
Titty Sewer Nato.
Titty Sewer Nato.
Yeah.
Titty Sewer Nato. It's a bit of a stretch.
That's Naito.
Yeah, no, I know who we're talking about. It's a bit of a stretch.
Hariyoshi Tamagotchi. Still
See, that's funny.
Yep.
Katsukuchi. Can't forget Katsukuchi.
Yeah, Katsukuchi.
Katsukuchi Uganda.
Yep, Uganda. And then recently, because I had no idea who he was until CM Punk mentioned his name. Sad Yoshi, Cold Zima.
Yes.
Cold Zima.
What's the upcoming tournament they're doing, Mateo?
Is it the G-Spot Climax? The only uncensored climax in Japanese television?
Worst pay-per-view name ever.
What?
The
G-Spot Climax, the only uncensored climax on Japanese television tournament.
He said what he said.
For New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
It's literally called the G1 Climax.
Their champion, the ICUP Hungry Man champion, is Mazda Miata.
How does he remember all of these? How does he remember it? Like,
because that's how he sees the name in the first place. Like that's the thing. That's like that. He's not remembering. That's just what he sees it as.
Ciabatta.
I also
Ciabatta bread. Yeah,
remind him
ciabatta
of
bread.
Katie does have to remind me every now and then. Some of them I get mixed up. Who was in the Golden Shower Lovers with Kenny? Which one was that?
Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi.
Oh yeah, Dakota is Bushy. That's right. Are we ever going to see him? We were so sure he was going to show up and join Kenny and friends.
Maybe Blood and Guts. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, he's more than likely going to show up in AEW at some point. But he was not going to show up at a New Japan show. He left New Japan in very bad form. I'm pretty sure no one was like, nah, we don't want him here. And maybe he was like, I don't want to see these sons of bitches either. How we all worked out.
Mazda Miata, JJ. Mazda Miata.
What's crazy about that whole thing is that
who drives a Miata?
The ICUP Hungry Man champion.
And there's a tournament for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the crazy thing is that Matt mentions these names and everyone seems to know who the fuck he's talking about. That's the thing that baffles me.
They watch the show.
Let's say it's word association. That's all.
Yeah. What does it sound like? Oh, that guy. Yeah. I will say my favorite thing from New Japan is the fact that they have something called the Never Openweight Championship, which still just doesn't make any fucking sense to me because, like, how is the weight never open? And how do you compete for that?
The Japanese, man.
Me and Warner are both fighting back the urge to explain it to you.
No, you can explain it to me. I really want to know. I really want to know.
He's like, nah, no, not tonight. Not tonight.
Is it
Not
like
on
a
the 300th
translation
episode.
thing?
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
They.
So Kenny.
Yep, go ahead. Never mind.
No. I'm actually honestly curious as to how a never open weight is a thing. So if you really want to explain, like, I am legit interested.
Oh no.
Warren, wouldn't you describe it, the never open weight, as being the bridge between their junior heavyweight division and their heavyweight division, because it's the only division where they can compete from both classes against each other?
Exactly. And in this, because that's why it's open weight,
but it's never open.
But it's never open.
Yeah, but never is the. See, IWGP stands for International Wrestling Grand Prix. Jesus Christ, I sound like a nerd. And it's
my favorite.
And it is the governing body of New Japan, okay? So the never title, since it is not affiliated to a weight class, cannot be considered under the banner of the International Wrestling Grand Prix. So that's why there's the never belts, which is another like governing body within New Japan, but just covers these titles essentially. Now, we went really too far into the lore here. All you have to know is that the never title is anyone can challenge for it. Junior, heavyweight, doesn't matter. Same thing with the 6-man titles. They're never titles. Anyone of any weight class can. Just as simple as that.
Yes, Travis.
So it's like the X division?
Yeah, no, because it's no.
Are you just trying not to say it's like the X division because the X division is trash and we all know it, and you just realize it's the same thing, so you don't want to call your own thing trash? Is that what's happening right now? I feel like that's what's happening right now, and
I think the X division is one of the best parts of Impact.
I was about to say, the X Division gave birth to some very good.
I'm not saying the X division itself is trash. I'm saying the concept of how they defined the X division was trash.
Yeah, because wasn't the definition was that it was a wrestling style, but then no one had the same wrestling style.
No, but it's not a question of wrestling style with the never titles. It's weight classes, because in New Japan the weight classes are segregated. You have heavyweights and you have juniors, and the juniors can't challenge for heavyweights, although there's some exceptions, and vice versa. Whereas the open titles is just like anyone can challenge, no matter what.
I get the concept. The concept.
So never is the governing body. Does it stand for something?
Let's find out together.
Sorry, Vince, I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
No. So like JJ is saying, it's like I'd say what was the 24/7 title, but we've already established that the TNT title is the 24/7 title. So the TNT 24/7 and never open weight championships are all one and the same.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
The Never Open Weight title is a professional wrestling championship owned by Never is an acronym of New Blood, Evolution, Valiantly, Eternal, and Radical.
That made it so much worse.
That's awful.
I actually like it more now.
Here's the thing. It would have made perfect sense. It'd been really cool in 1994.
Yeah.
Radical. That's probably when Inoki thought of it and he waited to implement it for a really long time.
So I have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Reek.
I just real quick had a question too. And since Warren, you're the guy that knows more New Japan, and we mentioned Forbidden Door. This is where the question comes. Do they know that wrestling is supposed to be a work over there? Like, honestly, because the match you met, the 10-man, the only real thing I was paying attention to in that match was I guess Takashita, where he like took his forearm like it was a shield of justice and sent it right into Ishii, and I know he was out cold for like at least 10 minutes.
Oh,
like,
he probably got loopy. Yep.
Do they know it's supposed to be a work? Because my guy just clocked him and just was like,
isn't that what they all about? Or like that? Isn't that what that strong style is all about? We might kill you.
All right. So JJ asked about Itchy, Tomohiro Itchy.
Yes.
Tomohiro Itchy.
Who's
or
Itchy?
as I like to do, the Itchy and Scratchy Show every time it comes out.
Every time.
So that's the thing. Also, since we were talking Impact for a second,
The Itchy
I got
and
excited.
Scratchy Show.
And there's the auto-tune. Because I saw something from Impact today that got me really excited, and it's one of Warren's favorite wrestlers. Apparently, in Impact, there is some sort of lesbian love angle between Killer Kelly, who was either very cold or very aroused while being seduced by Masha Slamovich with a chain. And it honestly
Have
made me
never
want
wanted to watch Impact more.
Never in my life. I watched some of Pandemic Impact. They were doing the Wrestler House stuff, and it really killed it for me. The last thing from Impact I watched was Roxanne Perez's last match. Before going to WWE. That was the last Impact thing I watched. However, Killer Kelly, Masha Slamovich, I want to see what's going on here. So I might actually start tuning in and watching a little bit of Impact.
I'm glad we welcome you.
It's there.
Both.
I can attest the Impact shows, like their pay-per-views and their Impact Plus shows, they're all really fun watches. Like you'll have your Bully Ray stinker, and then outside of that, everything is actually pretty fun. I think they put on really good shows. I can't watch the week to week, but the pay-per-views generally are pretty fun.
That also reminds me, you said, when we talked, when it was the four of us before everyone joined, you were like, I haven't really contributed to episode 300. But mind you, the only reason I know who half of the people that I make fun of their names are, let alone people like Masha Slamovich, is because of Warren. And the reason that I have a favorite New Japan pro wrestler is because Mr. Warren Hayes introduced me to the one, the only, the greatest thing out of New Japan, the Great Okan.
Yep.
Leader.
Yeah.
Leader of the United Empire, no matter what.
Now, there's a theory going around about Great Okan now, right? Because you probably follow him on social media, and he's very boisterous about his exploits, right? But recently, we've seen Great Okan taking pictures with a VTuber, right? Which leads a lot of people to believe now there's a conspiracy theory that, in fact, Great Okan is into VTubers and not real girls. So the conspiracy going around is, he'll go to a bar, he'll pick up a girl, make sure all the boys see him leave with her, right? I'm going to have sex, everyone, bye-bye, kind of thing. And then, and brings her to the hotel, but slips her out the back door, and then he goes up and opens up his laptop and starts chatting with the VTuber. That's the conspiracy that we have going there.
I'm okay with that.
I'm not judging. All I'm saying is that maybe, the guy who was caught, riding a mechanical bull / penis last year, maybe ain't that guy, is what I'm saying.
Well, that's why I loved him, though. It was the mechanical bull. It was his, trip to the U.S. where he checked out a strip club and had a blast. All of those things that made Great Okan.
Multiple strip clubs.
Yes, multiple strip clubs. That's why I love
really like the United States.
He did. And not for the same reason that other wrestlers from New Japan like the United States.
Warren, is there something you want to tell us?
Well, I had shaved that day.
Listen, Great Okan, if you're listening to this, I love you. I'm shirtless. If you want to open up your laptop and experience this episode in any way possible, I would be honored. You could do like that dude did for Rhea Ripley and just tweet at me, shoot my DMs, a tribute. I'd accept it. I'd be proud. I wouldn't share it. I wouldn't tell anyone. It'd be between you and me, but I'd know.
Wow.
How fucking dare you?
Yeah. You saw that on Instagram, right? The tribute that Rhea posted? Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of Rhea Ripley, I saw a video involving her, recently, and she seems like she's trying to answer a question that I've been trying to answer for a long time. The most important, question in all of WWE, which is, how do we get Samantha Irvin away from Ricochet?
Rhea motherfucking Ripley.
Because it looks like she's trying. And you know what? I don't blame her one bit.
Hey,
she will succeed.
You know what? Just let Ricochet be Ricochet, and he will repulse that girl eventually, like he's done every other. It's fine. Just give it time.
Just give it
What?
time.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me when I'm telling lies, like the other guy says, right?
We love the other guy over here. We love Collision. Collision is the best AEW show. It's the CM Phil show. I'm pretty sure he's booking it, or at least the first episode. The last episode they had Jericho on, so I don't think he had anything to do with that.
No.
Jericho on?
Yeah. The episode before Forbidden Door. Jericho.
Second episode. Yeah, the second episode.
Real bummer for me.
Wait, I was there. Where? Oh, you know, because Jericho started off because they had to do the Naito thing. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real bummer.
Or who was there and he forgot. That just proves a lot of.
I was excited about Collision. I'm like, all the people I like and none of the ones I'm not really a fan of, they all stay on Dynamite. This is going to be awesome. And then Jericho showed up. I'm like,
it's because you jinxed it, bro.
Yeah, why you do that? Because Collision was fantastic the first week.
It really was. I enjoyed the shit out of it.
I like Collision a lot.
Didn't Jericho on Dynamite do his Clockwork Orange gimmick again?
Or as Katie called him,
Juggalo Jericho.
That's exactly what it is. Though.
Yeah, that shit.
Love it.
I said he looked like Art the Clown from Terrifier. Katie said he looked like he was part of the ICP. Y'all remember when the ICP was part of WCW?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. Dark days.
I'm a child.
Well,
Were they darker than with the No Limit Soldiers? Because the No Limit Soldiers was pretty bleak shit.
I enjoyed the fuck out of that. Excuse you. But yes.
What about DJ Ran? You
What?
DJ Ran?
Yeah. Remember?
I don't remember that.
No, the 1999 era of DJ Ran, where Eric Bischoff thought that the best way to save the ratings was to get musical acts on, like Kiss and DJ Ran.
Oh, the Kiss Demon and all that.
I kind of remember that, but it's just like that's a blur to me. But yeah, I kind of remember that happening.
I will be right back. You all continue to enjoy this episode and me. Say terrible things about me while I'm gone.
Thank you for shutting off the camera before you got up.
Here's the thing, like I can see him backstage though, so it's just like he's not really gone, you know.
Well, only two of you can see him backstage. The rest of us can't.
That's fine. That's fine.
Y'all didn't see anything.
He probably just had to pee. He
didn't miss much. He just walked out of the room shirtless. He is wearing pants, unfortunately.
Kayfabe, man. Kayfabe.
I wonder if
That's not to say he won't take them off when he gets back, you know.
That's true. Does he put on a shirt to go to the bathroom so he doesn't have to explain why he's shirtless to his wife on the podcast?
I'm pretty sure he told her.
I was about to say, if he has to explain why he's shirtless to his wife in his own house, we got problems.
Well, not we. That's not my problem. I can walk shirtless in my house if I want to.
Wait a minute, Warren. Let's go back to this WCW talk. What's your issue with the No Limit Soldiers?
I thought the whole thing was just bad. I have nothing like in particular with a problem with the No Limit Soldiers per se. I just thought like just trying too hard kind of thing.
Well, that was a WCW problem. In that specific time, that was a WCW problem because everything fell apart, and they're like, "Oh, we're fucked," because Time Warner fucked us, and it's just like, what do we do?
I'm tempted just to show Matt's screen as he walks back and forth with nothing but basketball shorts.
To be fair, I did let Kate know before I came down here that I told everyone I was going to do this show topless and that I'm doing it topless, so she was well aware.
Thank you for moving yourself because I was going to bother me that you weren't there.
Yeah.
He didn't do it. I did.
Yeah, Travis.
Thank you, Travis. Whoever did it, thank you.
I enjoyed the No Limit Soldiers. The West Texas Rednecks was where they lost me.
You didn't like you didn't like Rapist Crap?
No.
You didn't like that jam?
No. As a matter of fact, there is not a single. Well, that's not true. Maybe Mickey James, but outside of Mickey James, there's not a single country song that they have introduced in wrestling that I've enjoyed, whether it was from Jeff Jarrett or Kurt Hennig.
Fuck Jeff Jarrett.
Written by Road
What about
Dogg.
Biscuits
Apparently.
and Gravy? What about Biscuits and Gravy?
What's
Biscuits and gravy.
Festus's entrance.
No.
Biscuits and gravy.
I actually had the abject privilege of being out of wrestling at the time that Festus was a thing. So I missed
Festus
it.
was great.
I've erased that from my memory.
I
So
like
good.
Festus
Why?
because it
But,
was so ridiculous. I loved it.
Speaking
Like,
of Kurt Hennig, though,
what's-
I was actually watching this video earlier of him with a match against the Giant, aka Paul White, the Big Show, and just watching him do the perfect plex on the fucking Giant. I'm like, yo, there is no reason why somebody should be that fucking good. Like 100%. Like, dude, you are absolutely perfect. Like, it's just like you are not appreciated enough.
What a talent.
Yeah.
Absolute talent.
Mateo, I'm gonna
Yes.
bounce because I've got to get ready. I've got stuff to do in the morning, and it's
He's gonna
1
put his shirt
o'clock.
back on.
Well, I probably won't put my shirt back
Fucking
on.
beautiful, man.
But I wanted to say congratulations to you and everything you do, and congratulations to Vince and to Katie for everything they've done for 300 episodes. And I'm grateful for the very minuscule piece of the puzzle that I've played along the way. So I'm grateful that you guys have let me invade your space when I've gotten a chance to do it. And I love you guys very much. And I'm exceptionally proud of the Warden on night 300.
Thank you. I love having you in my space. You know, like I said, guys, everyone that came through, anytime you guys got a bounce, it's a revolving door. I sent Bakley an invite, so whenever he's ready, he can come hop on. I got some other invites I'll send out. We can have 10 people on. So yeah, if you got to go, feel free to go. If you want to stay and hang out and have some fun and bullshit, everyone's more than welcome to stick around. We'll just keep going until I get tired or bored. So
Reek, it's great to see you. Warren, I miss you. We don't get to cross paths as much now that you're not on Twitter, but you are still loved and supported greatly. Katie, Travis, Vince, Matt, I talk to y'all every day. Love you. Bye.
Yes, sir.
bye. Bye, Allison. We love you too.
Bye, Allison.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bye,
what the
guys. He
fuck did
took
that?
my microwave.
All right. He took the mic. It's pretty disrespectful.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna hang for like 10 minutes and I gotta bounce too.
Yeah. TC said save him a spot. He might come through. So we'll see if Travis is still here.
Oh, I need him to hurry up.
Text
Yeah, you
him.
better, because I won't be here too much longer myself. I told you I got a meeting in the morning, so
Mind you, that was 2 hours ago, and he still hasn't come through. So
man, that nigga ain't coming.
Listen, we were supposed to record at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, and he didn't message me back about doing straight talk until about 11:20 maybe. Like, we had already started the podcast and everything. He joined mid podcast, but you know, he get back to me. He like, so I was
Listen, you ain't never heard of CP time?
CP time.
That color people time. That's how it works. That is a real.
Oh, have y'all never heard that before?
you know I have.
Oh, I know you have.
Yeah,
You've had a black best friend for a very long time. I know you have. I'm talking about the rest. Y'all haven't heard CP time before?
I probably have at one point when I was younger, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it is very real.
I've never heard it called CP time.
Yeah, that in itself is a separate time zone from all the rest of them out there.
I've heard of it, but I haven't heard it be called CP time though.
Yep. It's very real. It's very real.
Yeah. No, but it's all good. It's all good. He still showed up, so maybe he'll show up here. I sent the link
he's
to
the only
Justin
one
and
with his
Benji.
number, so you can text him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have to do that.
Did you ever send it to Jizzy? She's probably asleep already.
Well, yeah, I meant to drop it in the Discord, and then I forgot.
Well, yeah, because like in the Discord, I was like, "Oh, how many people?" and you ignored me. So I was like, "Wow, I'll just go
Well,
fuck
that's
myself.
because
That's fine."
I don't really get notifications in Discord. I just went in there and I typed some stuff, and then I walked away. So unless I get DM'd, it doesn't give me notifications because I have all of the chats silenced so that my phone isn't blowing up with dumb shit.
So do I. I don't pay attention to the fucking Discord.
Yeah.
Too many. I'm in too many fucking group chats. Too many.
Yo, bad.
So that match, the Kenny Ocean spray match, that was for the ICUP Northern Hemisphere Championship, Northwestern Hemisphere Championship.
Yes.
United States.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
But it doesn't matter.
It's the United States Championship in WWE. So over there, it's the Northwestern Hemisphere Championship.
Yes.
Just humor him, Katie. We'll move
I know.
along.
Warren, I drank the whole thing. I don't know what you want from me here. I'm doing
It's one of those things like you got to learn with Matt. If you don't argue with him, he'll eventually move on. Like that's the thing. If you argue with him, you're giving him exactly what he wants.
I usually don't argue with him. That's the thing.
We agree on a lot of things.
We did.
Yeah, they're usually arguing with me on the show on a weekly basis.
That's why Matt puts me on the bench sometimes, is because he doesn't want us double teaming Vince.
Yeah, no.
So
and there's times, I'll pick arguments with Matt every now and then to entertain myself.
That's not surprising.
That's another. It's just one of those. You got to poke the bear every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Nah,
Buy a bear during Pride Month? Is that what we just established?
Well, it's not Pride Month.
Pride Month is officially over now.
I guess now it is. So
yeah,
it's been over for me.
Well,
it's been over for him for 37 minutes. So
Yeah, but you're in the future, Katie. That doesn't count.
Excuse you. I'm not the only one in the future in this call. Reek is also in the future, and Travis and Warren. So fuck you guys.
Kind of outnumbered now.
Yeah,
because I moved.
Everyone's in the future.
I always forget that he's on a different time zone.
Yep, ATL.
I gotta Rob Warren. Should I call? What is there a Canadian 911?
Yes, it is called 911.
Okay.
Canada has 911. I didn't know. If they did that.
That's crazy like that.
I'm not even saying I assumed that they didn't. I just had never given it any thought until Matt just brought up. Like, wait, they do. Okay.
We're still like getting used to this technology called telephones. It's awesome. It's like we were so happy to finally get them. You wouldn't believe like how quickly now we can corral our moose by coordinating our efforts via this telephone device.
I'm glad. I still have the Mounties kind of like,
I was going to say, Canadian 911 is at a direct line to the Mounties. And has anyone let them know that there are wildfires?
Yeah. Yes. Well, and they're clopping along on their horses, heading over to smother them with quilts.
Yeah, because I was sitting in fucking some shitty ass air 2 days ago.
Yeah, me too.
It's really bad.
It was not cool.
I was outside for like 5 hours. I'm like, well, here we go.
Yeah, it was messy.
We actually love our brothers up in greater Wisconsin. There, some people call Canada, but Warren, you're actually
we like to call it Wis Canada.
Yeah,
Wis Canada.
You're actually the only person from Canada that I've had on that isn't from like the Nova Scotia area, that the Atlantic timeline, which I learned was the thing because I've had
a half hour behind us. They were a half hour. No, ahead of us. Sorry. 30 minutes.
How?
30 minutes. I don't know. I don't understand.
Canada's not real.
Zero sense.
But I've worked with
that's almost as weird as still having daylight saving time.
I agree.
Willow Raven is up there, which was our first OnlyFans model that we had on, and she came and did the show.
She lives in the Maritimes?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Interesting.
And then also Vince hooked us up with Wednesday Night Wallop. And they're up there as well.
Message
actually just recently rebranded to Wallop Media now. So
nice.
Wait.
Yes. So they're no longer a Wednesday Night Wallop. They're just Wallop Media.
Time out.
Yes.
They're Canadian?
Wasn't that Wallop? Yeah.
What? Oh wait.
Yeah, that's why they were praising Jericho, because they're from.
You act like I remember that. The only thing I remember about that episode is me screaming at you after the fact.
Oh, see, that was something else.
That's the only thing I remember from that time frame.
Then maybe it was BC Hunter. That's there was somebody else that I had, and I felt like everyone but Warren I had on that was from Canada. They were like, "Oh yeah, we're in the Atlantic time zone." I'm like, I didn't even know that fucking existed. Like when was that a thing? I've heard Pacific. I've heard all sorts of things. Atlantic was brand new, and apparently it's just like a small circle up in Canada.
30 minutes difference. 30 minutes. I don't understand it. I really don't
How
you talk to your countrymen, man. Like you got to get them right. Like somebody got to
on the phone right now.
Immediately. You can't get them. Get the Yaxman. Like
Get somebody.
No, I said Yaxman, not the X-Men.
Oh, I thought you said X-Men.
Yeah,
no, that was a Ren and Stimpy joke, dude.
I thought you were mentioning
That's
X-Men
right,
because
the
of Wolverine being
Yaxmen.
Canadian.
Exactly.
I'm glad somebody got that. That was, it wasn't just for me and my own amusement.
I used to know the theme song. And the buzzards, they fly over.
Yes!
Poisonous snakes will devour.
Yes!
Reach in the sun.
Yes.
Oh, shit, what's the rest? And then there's this great flourish.
And we have to clean up after them.
And something are the best.
Our saddle sores are the best. That's what it was.
What is even happening?
They're piecing it together.
They're keeping my childhood alive. Is what's
Ren and Stimpy.
Traumatized music.
Good.
Excuse you?
And that
Listen, in the
is
90s,
our
the
great
shows didn't
reward
traumatize you, they weren't doing their job.
for
Yeah, the
being
cartoons.
the Royal Canadian Kilted Yaxman.
Travis and I did just cover World War III in 1997, which was the lead up right around the Montreal Screwjob, where they let Eric Bischoff and Kurt Hennig sing "O Canada," and the NWO came out with the Canadian flags and did that whole thing.
Great.
Eric Bischoff can't sing for shit.
It was wonderfully awful. Like, oh my god, the I hate this word, but the cringe that was happening during that segment was just, oh, I loved it. Like, it's just like, oh, this is so bad. This is so bad, and I love it. Mostly because I knew Matt hated it.
No, it wasn't good. Between that and Sold Out 96 was the one. Sold Out 96 was the terrible one. Like
Yeah, that was
97. That was 97. Because that was the first sold out after the NWO was formed. It was an NWO pay-per-view, and that was when Eric Bischoff trolled the world with this horrible pay-per-view, and somehow it was again wonderfully awful. Like
NWO, yeah, that whole thing. That was
NWO. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you look at it at the lens of this is a big fucking joke, it is a great time. Like, no bullshit. Like, the whole time, even like when they're doing the entrances for everybody that was WCW, the announcer was just talking shit about the dude that's coming out. They got no music. It was so great.
And then the people coming out with the NWO, unless you were Hall and Nash and Hogan, they all came out to the same theme, to the NWO theme. So you never really knew. It was always like everybody that wasn't them got that alternative NWO theme. That yeah, exactly. Yep.
I'm not going to ask this to Travis because he already knows the answer because he does a show with me. And I know Katie has only ever watched one pay-per-view from WCW, so I'll leave Katie out. Vince,
which one?
It was 95. It was the one where Dustin Rhodes had the match on the trailer.
Oh, that okay.
King of the Road match.
Yeah, that was a terrible fucking pay-per-view. I wish I never watched it.
Yeah,
did that with Pretty Kyle. But for Vince, Reek, and Warren, I'm curious. Each of you, let me know who you think my favorite wrestler from WCW was. Because Travis didn't know this until we started doing the show. Okay. Vince's vote is Disco Inferno.
From throughout the era, right?
Yes.
Yeah. WCW period.
Wait,
how well
DM
do you know Matt Ritter?
I want to know.
I'll tell you when they're done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alex Wright.
Alex Wright, German sensation.
That's what Bakley said in the chat too. He said Alex Wright, right as Warren said.
Bakley, are you coming and joining us or what? I saw you saw the invite.
Yeah, come on.
There are two names that come to mind. There's Buck Bagwell and there's Sting.
One of them was my guess.
One of them was Travis.
Well, it actually wasn't a guess. In my head, I just knew that was who his favorite was. It was just like there was no question about it until he told me otherwise. I'm like, oh, I mean, it makes sense, but
and that was Sting was Travis's guess, and because I get it. He was kind of like WCW's counterpart to The Undertaker. He had the Crow gimmick. I enjoyed the Crow growing up. It was great. But my favorite wrestler of all time in WCW, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, period, Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh, all right.
That was close.
Inferno close to DDP.
That was not close. Huh?
I mean, they're both white.
Yeah.
That's about all.
That's not true. Disco Inferno did the stunner and DDP did the diamond cutter, and they're versions of the same move.
Disco did the chart buster.
It's the stunner.
Also was a bitch, but that's a different conversation, I guess.
Oh, you mean because he refused to lose the jacket, which is how he got fired, and then they brought him back eventually because he decided he was going to go ahead and take that bump?
I was just talking about him as a human being, but yeah, sure.
I mean, yeah, he's a shitty person too, but I just talking about how he didn't want to put over Jackie.
Yeah. Well, he's just been a shitty person his entire life, including now. However, when we used to play basketball, on the rare occasion that I would actually make a shot, because I am not good at basketball, I would always throw up the diamond cutter and do the bang to celebrate the 1 in 20 shots that I made.
Right.
There was something else you used to do.
What was that?
That was your imitation of Randy Savage. You would do your "ooh yeah," loud as fuck.
Yeah. Yep. Kimberly Page is my favorite
Nitro Girl.
Even before she was a Nitro Girl, though, like
manager.
Even before the Nitro Girls were a thing, it's just he was
female manager. Absolutely, hands down. I think, in my personal opinion, the most beautiful woman to ever step foot on TV for professional wrestling.
What's her name?
So all props, Kimberly Page.
Kimberly Page.
Right now.
Wow.
The Macho Man DDP feud over the pictures of Kimberly Page. One of my favorite feuds that I've watched so far in WCW. Macho Man DDP is probably my favorite feud so far that we've covered in WCW, and we're getting to a point to where I'm fairly familiar with WCW. I didn't really get into WCW until like late 99, early 2000s, where I was watching consistently, which was a terrible time.
Yeah. He showed up after it wasn't good anymore.
not even it's no longer good anymore. It's dying. 99 2K is death of WCW. Yeah. It's disgusting.
And I was introduced through to DDP through, well, first off, I also love Ready to Rumble. He's the main villain in Ready to Rumble. Diamond upside down as a pussy will always be one of my favorite quotes of any movie whatsoever.
There was something I was watching before they did this thing. They were like, the power of the pussy. I don't know what it was, though.
Hi, Bagley.
What's going on?
Oh, uh-oh.
Wow, Kristen called you out, Warren.
Listen, Kristen, he gets to see you way more than he gets to see me, especially shirtless. So this is a special occasion.
That's true.
I didn't realize how late it was, though. I'm going to get up out of here. I told you I got a meeting in the morning, so I got to go.
All right. I love you both. Thank you for coming in, and now you're going to make this podcast almost exclusively white, like AEW. Almost. We still have Vince.
Or like Final Fantasy 16.
I may look white, but I'm still a colored individual.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's okay.
Bye.
It's okay.
But all right, y'all. I'm out.
My client, Warren, it's always a learning experience. But yeah, I'll see.
We learned what never stood for. And it's terrible.
Yeah, exactly. I always learn something. I always learn something when Warren's on, so I appreciate that.
Warren Travis sang us Canadian tunes. That was nice.
They did.
Anthems.
Yeah.
Oh, and I did text TC. He said he's gonna try and jump in at like 10. So
that nigga ain't coming. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I'll see y'all
later. I feel like Benji would still be awake right now, or even Jesus.
Text them both. You have numbers?
I do have numbers. I have their digits.
I don't have anybody's number except Justin's.
But Warren, not only is it my love for Ready to Rumble, but also my big introduction to WCW was the Karl Malone DDP versus Dennis Rodman, Hulk Hogan, and then the DDP Jay Leno stuff was some of the first things from WCW I really saw as a wrestling fan, because I was and still am kind of mostly WWF, even though they got me in trouble a lot because all the stuff that the Attitude Era was doing that I did and copied constantly got me in trouble at that private school that I went to. So
look at that.
Apparently you shouldn't walk around a Christian school flipping the bird and telling people to suck it. They don't like that.
I would say, like, in general, really, you do that at a Walgreens, you'll probably have the same type of reaction. People ask you to leave,
Surprisingly, though,
that out there.
Suck it, at least is still now kind of more widely accepted for what it really is than it should be, because you see people doing Suck It just randomly.
Oh, sure.
All over. Like, it became its own thing. Like,
but do you do if you do the gesture, I think it's one thing, but if you do the gesture and you say it, I think that's where it becomes maybe a little more reprehensible.
True. Bakley, how are you?
I'm good. You're talking about something that's around the time I got into wrestling was during 96, 97.
Yeah, no, I don't think I was watching them.
Were you WCW or WWF, or were you kind of both?
I was both. I used to, because then TNT would air a replay of Nitro right after it got done. So I would watch 8 to 10. I'd watch WWE. I'd watch Raw, and then I'd watch the replay of Nitro right afterwards. So I didn't have to pick. I just watched both.
It does not surprise me you swing both ways.
Yeah.
For those of you who have not seen Bakley here on the Smackin It Raw podcast, he is from Cage My IQ, part of the Bloodline Network, and the only person that kind of keeps me up to date as to who some of the MMA stars that I have no idea who he's talking about are. But he'll just randomly DM me stuff about MMA, and I'm like, sweet Bakley, I love you.
He usually slides into my DMs to talk about NBA mostly.
Like McGregor. Apparently, I didn't spell McGregor right.
How dare you? How dare you, man?
Not that big a deal.
Honestly, if I was around when WCW and WWE,
I mean, you were around. You existed. You were alive.
I mean, I was around, like, watching wrestling is where I was going to finish my sentence with. I think I would have just stuck with WWE. I never really liked the presentation of WCW all that much. If I did watch, it would mostly just be for like Eddie Guerrero or Rey Mysterio, to be honest.
They always had a good opening because they had the cruiserweights. So they always put on that great match in the beginning. And then they get like the Chris Jericho's and Dean Malenko's next. Yeah. And then you get the hot shots at the end, the guys booking the show like Hulk Hogan, Nash, and all of them, because they float around way too many of those contracts where they gave them creative control. So that's when you knew in 98, 99, it was going downhill. It was because of those.
Yeah.
Were you watching and only showed up because Travis said you weren't going to show up?
Who, me? No. Why are you shirtless?
Because I said I would be to celebrate 300, and I don't lie to my listeners.
Okay.
Tits out for 300.
And I'm not allowed to, so somebody has to.
I mean, technically you are.
On number 300.
Thank you. Travis was talking mad shit about you, and Reek was hoping you'd get here while Travis was still here. Literally said, you ain't coming, and then 2 minutes after he left and said it, here you are. So proving him wrong.
I was trying to get here before Reek left, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
But I'm here now.
Ladies and gentlemen, TCF baby, please say the baby.
Yes,
host of Young Kings Wrestling,
yes,
TC Fontaine.
Yeah.
Hello, the thespian. TC Fontaine.
TC Fontaine.
How do you like what your Lakers did today? They won.
Man, I'm impressed. I liked it better than the Eric Gordon stuff I was seeing earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I like the kind of like Gabe Vincent a little bit. I mean, I'm not expecting him to shoot like he did the last 2 rounds of the playoffs, but I mean, some consistency would work for me.
They brought back Rui, which was a big.
Listen,
yeah, that was my move so far.
You have 2 fucking shows between Young Kings Wrestling and Straight Talk where y'all can talk basketball. Do not bring that bullshit in my house. Y'all just did a whole episode talking about basketball.
We did, which is out now. You can check that out on youtube.com/Vince. And you can search up Bessie as Vincent, your favorite podcast player, and you can find the episode there. TC was on there. We talked basketball.
We did.
The second time you've mentioned that, and we don't need to talk about it now. That's not what we're here for. We're here to celebrate 300 and talk about it.
Bakley wants to talk basketball with me.
But can someone tell me, like, what is basketball? Could you, like,
Sports ball.
Aren't you Canadian, bro?
Yeah, no, but I just
basketball was invented in Canada, low key.
It's a ball that goes in a basket.
Essentially.
I know it's from here. I know, like, it's some guy who invented it here. I'm aware of that. Trying to get to talk more about basketball since Matt doesn't want us to talk about basketball.
No, it's okay. I'll keep talking about basketball. Speaking of which,
no,
I did not have Derrick Rose signing with the Memphis Grizzlies. I did not.
No, me neither.
I did not have.
I haven't done that in a while. That felt good.
It's been a
Unfortunately,
while.
Vince has the power to just bring himself back.
I do.
I used to be able to
which
kick
isn't
people
as
out of the call.
fun.
They just have to sit in timeout until I was ready to bring them back. I miss
This
those
is
days.
it's not fun anymore. You like kicking him out. 'Cause he can bring himself back.
TC's first episode on Smackin It Raw, when I was talking about it earlier, Travis kept kicking me and him out, or he kept muting us while he just kept doing the fucking show drunk.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
You guys lucky I came back.
I mean, you came back for me, and I have done my best, despite this one-sided feud between you and Travis that he just will not let go, to stay unbiased and keep you guys separate and have a good time with both of you, because I love
Were
you both.
they now? Someone correct.
You're Tony Khan.
Thank you, JJ.
And I'm CM Punk, and he's the elite.
Wow.
Woo.
Now,
Ooh.
were TC and Travis both on 200 or no?
Yeah, they were.
Yes, we were, because this beef continued. I remember very, very vividly. Yeah, that happened. That was the thing.
Episode
And it's
200, I was still at the beach. I had headphones on that, like, I was trying to be quiet.
I think you had a tan.
Now it's episode 300, and here we fucking are. I've been drinking for 2 hours, so.
Night, JJ.
I know Just isn't going to make it. He hit me up and said he couldn't make it, but wished us a happy 300.
Love Justin.
Boo.
I think I sent the invites to Pretty Kyle and Tim way too late. They're probably both drunk and passed out at this point.
Well, seeing as how Pretty Kyle tweeted he likes beer at like midnight, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not going to make it.
I doubt it.
When I first moved to Vegas, I bought a beer at 4 a.m. It was great.
Sounds delicious.
I don't want you to get into any more trouble with Kristen Ashley. Please go ahead, Warren. Get some sleep. Thank you for coming by and celebrating with us.
But, well, you're very welcome. But most importantly, congratulations on the 300 to all of you beautiful people. Matt, Vince, White Beauty, congratulations.
Fuck you, Warren.
Oh yeah, TC and Rick were in the episode when that shit happened.
They were there.
That was
you shouldn't have told me that.
Yeah, that was something. That was something.
Thank you for the invite and congratulations again. Y'all are beautiful.
Thank you. It was a blast.
Bye, Warren. Love you.
And now there's just us.
And then there
It is just us, and it's been a cool little rotating cast that we've had tonight.
Yeah,
because like I said, it's everyone that's really like fucked with us and kind of made 300 episodes possible. I mean, Bakley, between coming on and doing the show and all of that, is also in the chat pretty much every week, correcting me and giving Vince shit, which I love. One of my favorite episodes was the roast of Vince, that I don't think was officially dubbed the roast of Vince, but that was within the last 100 episodes. That was a fun one.
I think it was like 6 weeks
Honestly,
ago.
it all started because my Jesus and our friend Ben in our mutual chat was like, "Oh, let's play 2K." I'm like, "I can't. I'm gonna do the podcast. I'm gonna do the show. I can't do it." It's like, "Boo, fuck you, Vince." It's like, Jesus, let's go hop on his chat and just like berate him and roast him. So that's what they did. So then they saw that, and Allison's like, "Oh, I'm gonna add to this. This is funny." And then Will decided to chime in, and then everyone and their mothers, and even my own girlfriend, decided to chime in and just roast me for the entire thing.
Me and Melissa have a lot of fun at your expense together, and we don't even get to we communicate through you. which is my favorite part.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna tell her that you were doing the show shirtless. I think she'll get a kick out of it.
I mean, she had her chance
Might
to
get
come meet
jealous.
me in person, and she didn't come.
She
wanted us to have her. She wanted us to have our alone time. That's what. Well, not alone time because Katie and Jizzy were there, but
I was gonna say, I
you know
was
what I mean.
there.
And my wife and my daughter.
It could have been our alone time if we had our own little pod in the Ferris wheel. But you didn't want that. You want to hold your
It was.
daughter.
I mean, you also have to remember that me, Jizzy, Kate, and their daughter were also in that Ferris wheel with you guys, so it wouldn't have.
I know. But you guys could have had your Ferris wheel. The girls could have had theirs, and then me and Matt could have had our own separate pod.
Why are you trying to discriminate against women, Vince?
I'm not. I'm just not trying to.
You wanted to share it with Matt only?
Yeah.
I got a bone to pick with TC real quick.
What I do?
Well, you and I got together for 2 shows, and I tried to manifest some shit, and you were in the background like, no, we don't need to do the Shotzi thing. But
Look, I told you they tapped in. They only gonna listen to us. Matt. They only gonna listen to what we say. It's our show, and they take what we say into consideration over our guests.
And you are 100% the reason why Shotzi's not in there now, and I'm sad. And she got a haircut tonight. I found that out.
Oh yeah, that was messed up. You ain't supposed to do that.
Disrespectful.
That's fucked up. Well,
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how the hair's gonna look.
It's gonna be cute.
No, she would look fine.
Oh yeah, she could be bald. She'd still look fine. Jesus Christ. But TC, if you go back and you watch the beginning of the episode, there was a nice little shout out for you and Reek and everything that Young Kings Wrestling and Smackin It Raw have done together. So thank you for being a part of this 300 and getting us to where we're at. So
I know I'm a bad host because I only realized this after we got done recording and I was putting our 200 together. I was like, I forgot to thank people on our 200th episode. So there'll be some thank yous going out this week.
it is really dope though that because you guys did your 200th episode Saturday, so less than a week ago. So within the same week, you guys hit 200 when we hit 300.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Wasn't it like that before?
Yep, I think you guys we hit 100 when we hit 200 around the same time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I was on their 100th episode.
And on our 200th episode.
And your 200th episode.
You're
And their
usually
200th
on
episode.
both.
And this 300th episode.
She was on her 100th.
It was me and Savannah. And Malik was there too.
Yeah, Malik showed up that time. We almost had Malik the other day too.
Yeah.
Is he still part of Young Kings Wrestling?
Whenever he can.
So kind of like Travis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he's not really part of Smackin It Raw, but he can just show up whenever he wants, and then he's part of Smackin It Raw.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
This dude literally be like all over the place, like traveling, shooting basketball games and shit. So I give him some grace that he don't show up. It's fine. Basketball is a year-round sport.
That's true. So we're talking about basketball again.
So
I mean, we're not going in depth on basketball. We just saying like it's a year-round thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when he shoot like high schoolers too, so like high schoolers play year round.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's working year round, just like shooting like AAU stuff, like big events, like all that. So
yeah.
Shout out to Malik. Shout out to my guy. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Malik. That's the butterfly flip. Excuse me, what butterfly effect?
There you go. You got that.
Yeah.
This is also the second episode you've done with us from your car.
Third one
I've
I've seen
right now. I'm on the balcony.
Oh no, third, because there was one that you hopped on and you were just kind of walking around downtown Vegas or just walking around your complex in Vegas.
Yeah, I was.
And you guys actually hopped on. I think we were doing a show when you guys were all in Vegas together, and we're walking down the strip. Just came and hang out with
Three of
us.
us were on the strip. Just there were so many shenanigans happening.
Honestly, now that I know about it, yeah,
nice. I gotta go find it.
Yeah.
So then there is documentation of all of you guys meeting each other. Then it's on the podcast.
Oh yeah, I guess
that might have actually that just might have been a meetup. That might not have been a podcast. I don't remember.
Well,
It was on a Friday night though. So
it was a Friday night because it was the same night CM Phil debuted at Rampage.
That's right. Yeah. So probably. So I think TC's actually been on our show walking around outside more than he's been sitting in front of a computer.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I can count now, including this one, at least 4 times. So if you haven't been on more than 8 times,
what was the 4th time?
This is the 4th time right now.
What was the second time?
The second time was Vegas. The first time was walking around your complex, and then in your car.
I need to go inside.
He's like, I'm going to my computer real quick.
Listen, you're the only wrestling podcaster that I can literally say has been outside and touched grass, and I've got video proof of it. So
that's true.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of us are podcasting from our living rooms, Bakley's safe house in our basement. So
I'm in my bedroom. It's easy.
it's true.
You got to keep the continuity. We're all in basements at the moment.
I am not in the basement.
I'm actually glad you came by, Bakley, because I feel like 300th is like a birthday, kind of. I mean, technically our birthday's coming up, but I feel like I should get a wish. And my one wish is that for episode 300, you finally get that soul you've been looking for. So
it's not going to happen.
Oh my god!
How dare you?
Listen, bullshit with Bakley in those group chats that we used to do, and it was one of my favorite hangouts during the pandemic. I'd hop on with you and Tim and everybody and tease you about, podcasting from a safe house and ask you, if they're still looking for you. And that's how we just kind of got together. And then you've come on, you've done the show. And outside of, like I said, being in the chat, hanging out with us, having a good time, you're one of my favorite guests because you always have that knowledge that I don't have. So if there's anything I don't know that I can't explain or I've got questions about, Bakley is always right there with the info that I need. TC says it's Googleable. I don't need Google. I got Bakley.
So he could have answered the never open weight championship question just like
he was. He was in the chat answering it as the Canadian was. Yeah, he was there
as the Canadian, as you deem Warren.
Oh my god,
the Canadian.
I just said it's blunt. It's for foreigners that they want foreigners to go after a belt, so that's the one that they need. And basically, that's what it basically was. It says it in the description.
We learned what never stood for tonight.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Something like new blood, erections,
academic,
Viagra.
So it's nipples, erections, Viagra.
Estrogen,
ejaculation, and rim jobs. Never.
I thought it was radicals.
TC's face.
The last one was radicals for sure.
I really hope Warren comes back and hears that part now that I've ruined all of that.
I don't know how to segue my exit from that, but
I'll segue. I had to bounce. I actually have to go to work in the morning, like now, instead of having my Saturday free. So I'm gonna go try to get some sleep. I got 5 hours to be at work. So this was fun. I'm happy to be part of 300 episodes. Here's to another 300. TC, thank you for joining me on Straight Talk. Bakley, I gotta get you on Straight Talk before I cancel it. But yeah, well, I don't know if we're doing the show next week, but I'll catch you guys later.
No, because we did 300, we're good. So you and Katie can do the show. If I won't be here, if you want to get guests, however you want to do it. If you want to do it just you and Katie, you're good to go for 301. This was the only one that Travis said we could not do without me, so it was going to be on hold until I got back. But I'm here, so.
Apparently, Albert Bundy wants you to
I'm pretty sure he's talking to you.
I highly doubt it.
I don't think he's talking to me, so I'm going to go.
Bye, TC.
See you, TC. Thanks for swinging through.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
God.
That's good. Let's fix that.
Say bye.
Since it's just the three of us, I guess I will run the outro and then we just hang out and do a post show.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
That's fine.
Just to be clear, I didn't plug anything or say anything. Travis is going to hate that.
Yep. I was gonna be like, wow, you didn't even say like a thank you, like a nothing.
I feel like I thanked everybody tonight already.
You did.
Yeah.
And
Like
like
a lot of
not
people.
enough people thanked you.
That is true. More of you should have thanked me.
I mean, I didn't get the chance to.
Allison's
Thank you,
here.
Matt.
Thanks, Bagley. I appreciate it. Yeah, so next week, if there is a show, you and Vince, because I'll be in Evansville, Indiana.
I knew you said sometime in July. I just didn't know when.
Yep.
That's fine.
Literally, when I hit up Travis and I was like, hey, you know, work, blah, 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 I might not make it. He's like, we can't do episode 300 without you, so we're just not going to do it. And I'm like, well, if we don't do it now, it's going to be 2 weeks because I don't know that I'm going to have a chance to do it this weekend. I might have to work Sunday morning, so I won't be able to do it Saturday night. I'll find that out tomorrow. And then Sunday we got getting off, and then after that I'm gone next week. He's like, well, we can put the show on hold until you can do it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're the glue that holds the show together. No, don't me. Stop. You know it's fucking true.
I'm just some topless guy that Albert Bundy wants to see their butthole. That's all I am.
See, that's. I got questions about the people that be popping up in this chat sometimes, Matt. I got questions.
That's why I enjoy the show because it's unique.
Listen,
It's
the chat,
Crazy people.
like this was a show, right? And the show was fun, and we'd get together and we'd pre-record and then we'd post it and everything. But when we started going live and there was a chat and everyone got in and got involved, and I had random people coming in and spitting and swallowing. I got JJ telling me all about, you know, Impact and Bakley, and Will telling me about Impact and NWA and shit, just randomly dropping in things that they're spitting and swallowing. Like, that's the whole fun of the show, is the live chat coming in and interacting with us and bullshitting with us and saying dumb shit.
I remember when you were so against going live?
Yes, because I didn't want to do more work. I want to learn how to produce and shit.
Now you hit a few buttons. That's basically producing.
It's way harder than that. It's way harder than that.
It's not. It's not at all. But no, Matt, you're like I'm in it. Like, you're the glue that holds the show together. Without you, there is no Smackin' It Raw. There is no creation conversations when you have to text me while I'm cleaning my room at the middle of the day, 5 minutes before you need somebody. And I mean, you let me be the third man, basically, the unofficial official co-host of this show. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Again, there was no time for me to ever say that on the show because everybody was talking.
Vince just asked me what the thumbnail should be. That's your job, bro. I don't know if you're still watching, but that's your job.
That is his job.
Those other people made us, LOL. Oh, yeah. Why were you guys like, I know the name that you didn't want to say on the stream, which is something completely different. But I think everyone thought you were talking about SmackDown. They're like, oh, we won't say it. But like, I don't understand. I was very confused as to why they're like, well, we're not like, I just did 2 shows. Well, I did 1 show because Kyle was supposed to be on and you filled in for him. But like, I was like, I just did create a conversation with RN and Kyle. Like, why are we not saying Smack Raw?
I don't know. Which, like, now that like I said, I've been drinking. It's like I don't even remember his name. But like I do, but I don't, because it's not the one that you don't like. It's the other one.
Yeah.
What is his name? Bakley should know, but like I don't want to like.
Here, I got you. I'll put it in the private chat for you.
Thank you.
Keep the gimmick going.
I'm struggling. And that's what it is. I kept wanting to say Frank for some reason, but like I knew that wasn't right. Like I said, I knew it wasn't right, but it's the only name that kept coming to mind. Yeah, fuck him. And no, it's not just the pastor, Dave.
No, yeah, no. That's
Dave.
not it. So crazy thing. No, even though I know Katie doesn't like Rob, I got no issues with Rob.
Rob?
from Spectrum.
Oh yeah, fuck him too. But like, no, that's not what I'm talking
about. The funny thing is that, and we've talked about it. Like, there's certain things that if you're gonna say them to people, you kind of got to know who those people are before you say them. And one of my favorite things is all of the shit Katie lets me get away with that I say to her on this show because I have said some outlandish. I don't even know why I'm doing this on the episode because the episode's over, but I have said some outlandish, wild shit about Katie not having a father, about what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I think I just outed that whole thing. Katie's various fetishes, women,
which are not
real.
True.
We've had a whole discussion about it.
The different nicknames you give her every week.
Yeah, all of the nicknames. Well, to be fair, a lot of that was just making fun of Reek's intro because he thought he did intros better than me. So that started there. And then Pretty Kyle came up with all of the potato, or started with the potato. And then I just tried to figure out what potatoes I could also incorporate.
Yeah. Pretty Kyle did it the first episode I did with him. I can't remember I think he said cater tot. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. That's my favorite one. And so then when I've been on the other 2 times, he like just adds to the potato gimmick.
Excuse me. Oh fuck, I had it. No, I lost it. Potato gimmick. Shit, what the fuck was I going to ask you?
I don't know.
Literally, just like I had it, I was ready, and then I was like, and as soon as I went like this, it just poofed out of my head.
I don't know. I was talking about potatoes.
Oh, I remember now. Perfect. So I know you said you don't want it to be a thing, even though your co-host created it. But I realized that we can either be the Kinzy crew or the Katie crew, but we cannot be the Kinzy Katie crew.
Well, obviously.
So
that cannot be a thing.
No, we're not carrying Cross around this bitch. Carrying Keith around, can't do that.
For a multitude of reasons, that cannot be the name. You know.
Everyone should know by now if you listen to the show.
Some people are not in the know, and it's fun.
Just a little bit.
Well, we had a whole discussion between the 3 of us on the show, so it's out there now.
Was it on the show or was it after the show?
Well, whether it was on the show or after the show, anyone that was in the chat was let in. So,
were we still recording though?
I'm pretty sure we were still we were still live. I don't think it might not have made the official recording for the audio. Because this person right here, Katie's crew, had questions that needed to be answered. That's how it all started.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoops.
Out of pure curiosity, Bakley, what? No, this is a serious question. Because, like I said, you have an extensive knowledge of a lot of things that I make fun of a lot. They're things you enjoy. So, like, what about this show appealed to you? You'd be like, I want to hang out with that fucking idiot.
It was just different because you're the only podcast that I know that finds a way to combine wrestling and porn and do it all in one episode. So you do that. I just like the concept of spit and swallow, like good and bad. It's just a good idea, and you don't see many of that. Very unique. And then it just keeps me coming back each week because of the personalities.
Oh, like, thanks, Bakley.
You cracking the jokes, Vince just taking the punishments each week. And then Katie knows a lot, and she adds her own flavor to it. So it's very nice.
Little hair whip.
Little hair. Well, I'm sweating. So.
And that's one of my favorite things. One of the great things. No, see, that's what we can't do there. That is what we can't do there.
That's too many cases.
Oh, it's my glowing personality. But that's like one of my favorite things about, like I said, the groups that I kind of, because we have the cafeteria, which was our group chat that it was me, Katie, Vince, TC, Reek, Jizzy, Benji, Justin from the Get Show podcast. Like we had our own little. It wasn't necessarily what the Bloodline is, but like what you guys were doing with the Bloodline before the Bloodline became a thing, where you had all these podcasts that got together. You guys would do live streams and everything. We had that in a smaller group, and then somehow I know how I got brought over to what you guys were doing over there, and introduced to everybody, and somehow became a part of that without even kind of being asked if I wanted to be. But I got the pleasure of meeting, Nick and Tim and you, Dylan, Big Dick Brett, all those guys, Devin from Clark Street, and hanging out with you guys. And then it formed a whole new pool. And you guys talk about it all the time, but like everyone is so different and so unique in all their takes and how they go about things and doing things. And I'm able to bring a little bit of what everyone brings into the podcasting table onto my show and make it a part of what we do here. And you guys all mesh really well with what we do here and kind of complement it. And it was really cool to go on that stint last year between episode 200 and 300, where every week we just had a new guest, somebody from you guys or wherever we pulled from, like I said, Public Enemies and Marks with Mikes and everyone that we've had come through. It's been cool as shit, because everyone's, like you said, there are a lot of podcasts out there. None do it like we do it, but everyone does their own thing and everyone's got their own kind of niche and unique take and everything. And outside of Nick, who needs a redo because he got too drunk and all that, it all mixes really well.
That was the week before mine when
that was
Tim came on.
Yours. And you and Tim are fantastic together too. You guys are a fucking riot when you guys get together.
It's always been like that because a lot of people don't know that me and Tim have done stuff together for 5 years now through 3 different groups and whatnot. And it just always comes back to me and him doing something together at the end of it. Like the first 2 didn't end well, but then this one has gone a lot differently because you learn from your past and use it to correct things that you made mistakes on, and it's been better this way. And I always remember the night Nick was on yours because we did something right before he came on to yours, and he had downed that bottle of wine, and I'm like, and then he goes, "Oh, I gotta go on Smackin It Raw," and I'm like, this isn't gonna end well because he just downed a whole thing of wine. And then I think he called me the next day. He was like, I don't even remember doing that podcast last night.
He was gone. He was
especially by the end. Like he was there in the beginning for a little bit of it, but by the end, he was. I was like, I got to get this guy off the show because I don't know what he's gonna say. He started saying some weird shit at the end. I was like, I don't know what he's gonna do, and then he Nick's fucking awesome. Supports the shit out of us, always retweets us, has great things to say about us. Again, the UW Pod, fantastic show. They've got a shit ton of great interviews. What him and that riddle-loving co-host of his have going on is fantastic. But no, DM me's dude, I'm sorry, but don't worry about it. We'll do a redo. He still hasn't hit me up for the redo. Him and Tom, because Tom has been cock teasing me. He was here and then he left. About me getting my first Australian on the show for a year. And then every time I'm like, yeah, no. So what are you doing at Saturday at 4 p.m. your time? And then he just doesn't get back to me.
They just did their first live stream too last week.
I was there. I was in the chat.
Yeah. It was just good. It's kind of funny that we're talking about Nick because Nick's the only one to be in the safe house. He's the only one that has come here.
Been to the safe house.
We actually did a live stream, and we both live streamed from here the night before we went to Chicago for Forbidden Door.
And that's the really cool thing is so you've gotten to meet Tim and Nick and Brett and anyone else?
Yeah, it was Tim, Nick, Brett. I met Keith, his co-host. We went to an MLW show a few months ago, and Keith went.
Who else? Lover.
Yeah. Who else did I meet? We call him Hi Tom. We met him. And a couple of other people when we were in Chicago. I forget who it was. It's the guy that Brett does his New Japan show with. I forget his name. I met him.
Phoenix Splash. Go check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you got to get together with everyone and meet them in person. I've gotten to meet Katie in person, and then Jizzy, who was from the Deadass Girls, and Vince and Benji. We all got together and got to meet in person. I got to meet Tim in person. Tim came to he's the only one that's been in my house since I bought it. Like, came over, hung out, said hi, gave me a big old hug. Like, the friendships that you make from random people that you've met on the internet talking about wrestling is insane.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. I'm one infinity stone away from getting my gauntlet from the Cav, and that's fucking Jaylan, that motherfucker. He was in Pittsburgh and told me after the fact, disrespectful, because like I've met you, Vince, Just, Benji, Jizzy.
It's kind of funny.
All in Chicago.
I have to pee again. I'll be back.
Go pee.
Yeah,
And then TC and Reek, I both met in Vegas for the first time I went out there for SummerSlam 2021. So like out of our little group chat, I've got to meet basically everybody besides like one person. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because going to Chicago and doing that, it was like I had already met Nick like once because we went to a couple shows together. I'm like, okay, I met him. He's very cool. The way I met him was kind of by accident because Dom and him did like a sports thing, like a side podcast, and I was on it. And then me and Nick just hit it off, and we're like, okay, and then we had the group chat. And then when everybody was like, oh, let's go to Forbidden Door. And we were like, it's not going to happen. And then we did. And then on top of it, we had a room together, like 7 guys in a room that we just shared because we were never in there as it is. And we would just find it. And then we did that. And that was great because it's like the whole different personalities. Like I got to go to Chicago for the first time. I was supposed to meet my brother-in-law there when he was stationed there. I never did because we got too busy. But it's like I enjoyed my time there. It sucks that I didn't get to see Matt when we were there.
Ever since I've had this child plus the new house, I have not had the money that I've wanted to go and do any of these shows or hang out. And I can't wait till everything's said and done and the house is finished and I can start doing those things again. Because I would have liked to have met up with you guys and hung out. Allison's going to meet Travis in person in 2 weeks.
No, they were going to.
Oh, they were going to, yeah. Listen, I have known Travis since 3rd grade. I went out to Austin, Texas. He was in San Antonio. I was there for a week, and he couldn't make time to see me, and I've known him since 3rd grade. Last time I saw Travis was at my wedding. He flew out for my wedding. I saw him for my wedding. That was 2017. But Justin and Garn and Charlie, I got to meet in person when I met Vince for the first time. We all got together in studio and sat down and did an episode of Get Show in studio face to face, which was the only time I podcasted in a studio, which was cool as shit.
I wanted to see that video so bad.
Yeah, we were supposed to record when we were in the hotel room the night before Forbidden Door. Like we were gonna get all the guys and to do like a prediction thing, and luckily it didn't work. And luckily his mic didn't work because everybody was like half drunk, and it just would have been bad.
Would you guys like to see Vince's proposal? That's probably going to end up being our thumbnail.
Yes.
Yeah.
God fucking damn it.
Oh my god.
Actually, this one with the red font. Yeah.
That's better.
Red font. Why did it change font to don't? The fuck is that? Font's a word.
Apparently it's not.
So I told Katie this, but like I was really afraid. Like we had some shit come up at work right before, but 2 nights ago there was like a fire and shit got burned and melted, and I worked like 15 hours straight, and then I came back after was back at work like half an hour before my start time, and I worked again the night before or last night a little later than normal, and then today I was like, all right, cool, everything's gonna be quiet, and it was good, and then like right at 8 o'clock, fucking trouble, and I'm like, fuck. So I start going over there, and I'm like, please just have this fixed. And crazy thing is, I'm watching the Shotzi match, and I'm like, if Shotzi wins, I'll be able to do episode 300. But if she loses, I'm not going to make the show. And then she lost, and I was like, I just fucking jinxed myself. Why did I do that? Why did I tell myself that? Now I'm not going to fucking make it. And I still made it, so I was happy. But
which is good. Couldn't do it without you.
That's what everyone keeps saying. I feel like you guys could have. I feel like I would have liked to just like come back and watch the episode and have you guys just all come through and say all the nice lovey things about me without me being there. That would have been fun for me. It's like a Matt tribute without Matt, like almost like postmortem. Like you guys could do like, Matt was so great. We loved him while he was here. Like, pretend I'm dead and give a eulogy.
Sir, no. I'm not pretending you're dead.
Just for the day.
No. Who else am I going to go to bitch about my problems?
That's true. I was going to tell Warren this too. I forgot, but the when I had Willow on, the two stipulations that my wife gave me was after I had her on, because I had met her and talked to her like this, she's like, do not subscribe to her content after you've met her. Okay, fair enough. She didn't want me subscribing and talking to someone that I actually have interactions with. I get that. But also, I had told her that she was from near Oak Island, and Kate loves the Curse of Oak Island. So then she was like all intrigued and had questions and shit about Oak Island. And then she was okay with that as well. So
there we go.
Worked out.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Anyone I want on from Canada. Oh, yeah, they're from near Oak Island. You know, anywhere in Canada is kind of near Oak Island.
I don't know how maps work, sure.
You don't know how math works.
That is a very true statement. Proven many a time. At least I'm honest. I don't know what to tell you.
So Katie, how prepped are you for your extended vacation that's coming up?
Not. Thankfully, I have it's like I just did like the top 5 panel thing, and then I have 2 more kind of lined up. She's not talking to me.
No, me, yeah. Yes, more than likely next weekend while I'm in Evansville, they're gonna kind of come through and we're gonna try and meet up on Sunday, I believe, early. We were gonna do dinner, but I have a dinner plan with someone in Kate's family, so we're gonna try and meet up because they go through there to go to a dispensary in Metropolis, which is I guess Evansville's on the way to Metropolis for them. So I'm gonna get to meet Allison and Will in person.
Nice.
Which we were already supposed to do, but then they didn't show up. They didn't come to Chicago. I convinced my wife. I'm like, Will said he's gonna make burgers and it's gonna be the best burger you ever eat, and he just needs to use their kitchen. She's like, yeah, no, if he wants to cook for me, they can come through. And then they didn't.
Yeah, disappointing.
I'm sorry I cut you off because I pulled that up, and then you.
It's okay. But I have 2 more panels. Kind of, I have people for them, or at least some people. So I'm gonna try and film both of them this month, and then I'll release one in July, and then one while I'm gone for 2 weeks. And Savannah said she would have content to put out during those 2 weeks. We'll see. I will also have a few things set aside and planned to get released in those 2 weeks because we're not going to have a weekly show. Yes, Matt.
When's the next Inside of the Mind of coming back?
It's a great question. I'd love to tell you. I don't know. I'll be honest. I truly don't know. And when you said, oh, In the Crowd doesn't exist anymore, that's what I'm making the panel videos. They're in the crowds now. So that show got reincarnated for the 3rd time.
Fantastic idea. I just hate that the show that I helped you name is the one that kind of got the shitty end of the stick.
Dude, I was trying to do so much at once.
My friends, you people, my friends, have a bad habit of like overbooking themselves and having great ideas and then not being able to deliver on them because they realized, hey, this all sounded great, but it was way too much.
I mean, in theory, In the Crowd worked, but I also wasn't reaching out to people at that time yet because I was still scared to. So that has changed. I talk to people now. I talk to people at Fightful, not the Flex, but
I mean,
I have connections.
I fucked up the outro. I didn't like plug anything. I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna run the outro and then ran it. So Travis is gonna hate that. But yeah, no, this is the post show, Vince. We're hanging out doing a post show. Bakley's here.
You could have still been on if you're coming, but you know.
Yeah, true. But Inside the Mind will make a return. I'll try. I'm not making any promises. I'll try and film and get in contact with people in the next like few weeks, and then I can release them. Why is it? Sorry, I am not. It is not focusing on him, and it's
okay. That's better. So my as I've said, Bakley is in a safe house. I'm thinking that the CIA and or FBI, whoever is keeping him safe, is worried that he has been on the show too long and he was going to get recognized, so they blurred him out to protect him.
It's exactly what happened.
Yeah. It's not because I need to replace it. No, that's not it.
No,
Absolutely
no,
not, no.
It's exactly what Matt said. No, I'll get a few lined up. I'll shoot them this month. It's also my birthday month, so like I'm not trying to do too much. My birthday's literally at the end of the fucking month. I'm being dramatic.
What?
But
listen, I don't know why, but yeah, I showed them.
Yeah, we were shown. Thank you.
On the post show. Birthday, what? Because my wife does this shit too. Like she doesn't go month. She says, "Oh, it's my birthday week," and like the whole week's supposed to be. And I'm like, "No, you have a birthday. One day that you were born. You don't get a whole week. You don't get an entire month to yourself."
I was just people say that, so I was kind of just like playing off of that to be funny. I don't want the whole month to be about me in any way, shape, or form. The only time it's been like a birthday week is when my sister and my best friend, they surprise me with something different every week. I didn't know that was going to be their plan, but like we went to like, they took me at the Cheesecake Factory and like invited a few of my other friends that I didn't know were going to be there and like stuff like that. And like I had friends come down from Ohio that I went to college with see me. So it was a bunch of stuff that I didn't know was going to happen in the week of my birthday, which is different than me being like, oh, it's about me. Like I didn't plan any of that shit. I usually don't plan, like my birthday's on a Saturday, so the Friday night we do this will lead into my birthday. So that'll be fun.
Kate just likes to use it as an excuse to not do shit she doesn't want to do. She's like, but it's my birthday week. And I'm like, that's not how that works. Like you,
That's exactly how it works.
it did not take a whole week for you to be born. One day. Get 1 day a month or 1 day a year, not a month. 1 day a year.
1 day a month. That's exactly what it is. Thank you.
This is Sparta.
What's the title? This is Sparta.
Yeah, it's right there.
It's right there. It's I was gonna say it's up top. No, it's not.
Oh, Tom's back. Tom, while I have you, when are you going to be free at 4 p.m. on a Saturday so I can get my first Australian? I've got two bucket lists. I've got a podcast bucket list and I have a sexual bucket list. The sexual bucket list got retired when I got married. Unless I can convince Kate to swing or maybe do threesomes. I've been working on that for a while. It's not going anywhere. So like my first natural redhead and my first Asian probably aren't going to happen along with my first threesome. However, podcasting bucket list from around the world, Australia, I have not been able to check off. So eventually I'm going to need you, Tom, to DM me when you have because you're in the chat. And I feel like if you can be in the chat, you can be on the show. Tom.
It's true.
I need sexy Chris Hero on my show.
I was going to ask him if he went to any of the shows today and tomorrow for Impact, because they're in Australia right now.
See, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Who the fuck else knew that but Bakley?
I didn't know that.
Maybe JJ. She watches them too.
Yeah. Warren probably knew.
Just so you know, though, it can't be next week because I won't be here next week. I'll be out of town. But any week after next week.
You're like, DM me when you're free on a Saturday, but like I can't go next week.
But not next Saturday.
But not next Saturday, to be exact.
So you were kind of explaining in the chat what was going on with Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly that had her nipples hard in that clip that I watched?
So basically, it was like a random storyline where they start out just beating the shit out of each other in the back, and Killer Kelly is just, I don't know how to explain her, but Masha is just a badass hardcore GCW chick that's just gonna attack anybody, male, female. And then Killer Kelly just stood up to her, and for some odd reason they decided to have a dog collar match at a pay-per-view, and ever since then Masha has had a thing for Killer Kelly, and now you just see Masha in matches where she's fighting somebody, she gets attacked, and then Killer Kelly comes in, makes the save, and then they just stare at each other and like with that sexual look. And then this past week she had the dog collar on her, and then she puts it on Killer Kelly and then yanks her and pulls her to the back. So it's like, I guess it's their weird way of having them be a tag team now.
But it does feel like there's sexual tension, right? Like, I wasn't crazy when I saw that.
No. As soon as I saw that clip, she pulled it. I said, "Excuse me?" I said, no, "Oh my God, do I have to start watching Impact?"
But it makes it better because
I'm gonna watch it on Twitter.
Yeah, but it makes it better because they had a dog collar match to begin with a month ago. So,
yes,
Maybe
Vince,
it's just like their king.
Next Friday, this upcoming Friday, because technically to me this is still Friday, even though it's officially Saturday. The 7th, I will be off. That is the only day I will be off. I will be gone from the 7th through the 10th. I will be back for Creation Conversation on the 11th. So I'm only missing 2 days of Creation Conversation that I might not have even been scheduled for, and Smackin It Raw next week. That is it. So the 7th is the only day I'm missing.
2 weeks from.
Yeah, I don't know how he thought 2 weeks.
There was a long time I didn't watch it, but because I just subscribed to the Impact on YouTube, so it's like $6 or something, and then it cuts out all the commercials to the episode, so I can just watch it whenever I want if I miss it. And then they got the YouTube exclusive pay-per-views every other month, so like I'll watch it whenever I feel like it. It's cool seeing some of the wrestlers that were on WWE. Like I've been catching Trinity on there. She's wrestling for the women's title at Slammiversary against Deanna Prazer, so that's pretty cool. And just the different matches that they have. Like I like the X Division, the match that they have. They're doing that. So,
all right. What are you yelling about?
What are you doing?
I'm just sitting here. What are you talking about? I'm not doing anything.
Just sitting there, playing with your shoulders.
Yeah,
they're sore. I've been working hard.
You have more than that. Jesus, relax.
No, like, so Warren was talking about how like the pay-per-views are really good. My problem is if I can't watch your weekly show, I can't justify giving you money to watch your pay-per-views, even if they are really good. Like, that's where that's where like it loses.
No, I get you.
Same thing with Forbidden Door. Like, I saw some of the guys for free on my TV leading up to some shit, and I'm like, okay, cool. I kind of got a feel for him, but it's like I don't get into New Japan Weekly to justify me giving Tony Khan $50 to watch a show with guys that I don't get into on a weekly basis for the most part. And then you add in people like Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Chris Jericho on that show, and it's like, all right, so I didn't know really 50% of you, and then part of the 50% I did know, I don't even fucking like or want to watch.
Yeah. And honestly, it's kind of hard to watch New Japan for a lot of people, so I don't expect a lot of people to be into it because of they have their own format. Like they go 5 days a week where they have like matches, but it's a lot of repetitiveness, and then they call it a tour, and then at the end that's where you have the pay-per-view. So it's like you can not watch any of that, and then you can watch the pay-per-view, and then you'd be fine.
Yeah.
So it's like that's why a lot of people probably don't watch it. And then Tim said it before, the app sucks, so I usually have to watch it on my computer half the time.
One New Japan gimmick I didn't get in for the 300th episode, but I'm going to get it in on the live stream. When's the best of the Super Dupers?
They had that back in May.
Okay, so that
they just had it.
Who was the Super Duper?
The winner was Master Watto.
You just made that up. That's
and
not a real person.
His nickname is the Way of the Master.
Yeah, no, that
and his and the guy, one of his trainers was Kojima.
Coldzima.
Yeah.
Yes.
That just sounds like somebody in like the creation suite that like somebody a 13-year-old made.
Yeah.
The Way of the Master, Master Watto. Like, no, that's not a real wrestler. There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah, but the best of Super Juniors is just their junior heavyweight version of the G1.
Super Dupers.
Yeah. I like that better.
Me too. That was the first one I think I hit Warren with that he like really, really laughed out loud when I dropped that on him. So
good times.
Wow, I feel like we've talked more about wrestling in the post show than we did during the episode.
Well, yeah, because the show was
It's
about
a special
like
episode, 300.
300 episodes. What happened in those 100 episodes from the last show, which was a time.
Oh, those are my. I actually took notes for Saw because there's so many, and I had to distinguish what happened in which ones in my head.
Oh, did Reek DM you by chance?
No.
He should be free. He doesn't work Monday.
Okay.
So I told him I was like I can DM Matt or you can DM Matt, but then he just replied with like a thumbs up. So I was like, okay, so I'll just tell Matt.
So you, me, Reek, maybe Vince, and Will.
Yes. Yeah, I will keep in contact with Reek to see.
I bet you Vince doesn't show up.
You know what? He has been sick.
Yeah.
And even now, I could kind of tell in his voice when I was talking to him and everything. He took a little nap before the show because he wasn't feeling well. So I know he wants to do Saw. This was like his request and everything. And if he wants to show up, I will have him absolutely.
Matt also gave him the ultimatum that if he did not show up for this week, then
I'm not waiting
without him.
Yeah, I'm not trying to figure out a whole nother show.
He said that the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do I have in my Swallow Rhea cuts Dom's promo for him because the crowd won't let him speak. Gunther destroys Riddle's ankle. Finn attacks Seth after a bonding moment with Carmelo. Oh boy. Poor Vince.
He's fine.
Spit Money in the Bank summit with Bailey, even though she never put her spot up against Shotzi, because I thought it was supposed to happen last week and it happened this week, and now I'm spitting it even more because not only was she in the summit, but then she did what she did.
It was supposed to have 2 matches last week that they had to do this week. That one and then that triple threat with Butch, Santos, and LA Knight.
Which Butch is not winning the case.
Why?
He touched the briefcase. He took it off the hook. He can't win now. It's just how it goes. Butch.
Well, good. He was going to win anyway.
Yeah, it's going to be LA night. It's going to be a fantastic time.
I also had Swallow MJF pre-tape heals it up for Tamagotchi after Tamagotchi beats Swerve, Brody and Andrade, and then I spit Jericho being on Collision because he doesn't belong or deserve to be there. You can have Rampage, you can have Dynamite. Stay the fuck off my show, Jericho. Gigi defeats Kiana, got a swallow, and then the paint job.
Paint job.
Ice cream paint job.
Could have been the title if it wasn't 300.
Yeah. Hayes versus Corbin got a swallow, even though Corbin should have won.
I love the fact that he did his old theme from very first beginning of NXT. The Lone Wolf with the motorcycle theme. I was waiting for like the holes where you walk amongst the holes and then stand there and then go. But I had to do best with just the music.
Yeah. Good night, Allison. Thank you for coming
night.
And then leaving and then coming again. Glad we got you to come twice tonight. Hope Will can too.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, Lone Wolf. Also, I'm very interested in what the fuck's going on with Braun. Because he went in Michael's office afterwards and he's like, I beat fucking everybody. So is he getting called up or are we bringing someone down to fuck with him? I'm curious.
What did he say? What did he say? You can't hold me back or you can't control me or something like that?
Something douchey along those lines, and then stormed out. And then he was like, "You'll find out next week." Like, fuck off.
Oh, and Lyra, everything Lyra Valkyria. Yes. Knocking out JC Jane, Rhea coming in and looking at JC on the floor and being like, yeah, that's a real bitch right there. Rhea just hanging out in NXT.
They just had her at a WWE live event in Dublin.
Yep.
They had her pop up there.
Which good.
Oh, we didn't. I should have done the rest in peace for Draws because we were live. I forgot.
He was a local guy here.
Yeah. Puke.
Yeah.
He's gonna puke. Fucking Vince is terrible.
Yeah. I knew a lot of guys that would drive up near his house because I think it's only like 20 minutes away from me, and then they drive up just because they knew it was there, and then it was dumb shit. They'd be like, "Oh, he's paralyzed." I'm like, "Yeah," because of the stuff that he did, and I'm like, "Why are you bothering him going up, taking pictures and stuff?" I'm like, "Come on now."
Because fans suck.
Yeah.
I have a question. It's not about that. I just so happen to be fully looking at the screen now. How long has Bebe been on this background?
I don't. Well, so this is a new background that Vince made with the 300 episodes down there.
Yeah.
But let's take a look since we're here.
Because I just happened to glance over.
We got that one. We got the one that we know.
So this is that
one.
And then there's that one without the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's for me.
Just for you.
That's me.
Speaking of just for you.
Uh-oh.
Joe Coffey confirmed my suspicions on NXT. Let my boy Tony know that you cannot trust Stacks. Try to tell you. I don't know why you don't fucking listen to me.
Listen, I don't want to believe it.
As an Italian from Chicago, I know these things.
I was thinking that from the beginning too. I was like, watch, it's gonna be him.
No, I didn't want it to be. Stacks is gonna be swimming with the fishes with that other dude who's now in AEW. Yeah, whatever. All the shows blend together. So if there's just gonna be a bunch of bodies in this river because the Don is gonna kill him, rightfully so. Snitches get stitches.
I know, and I can, as an Italian from Chicago, I can see it a mile away. That boy had ambition in his eyes. It was dangerous.
I didn't want to believe it though. I wanted to. I don't see the good in many people. I wanted to see the good in Stacks.
He's Hoffman from Saw.
How dare you?
He is.
Listen, I'm not watching those fucking movies again because they are a trip. I'm just gonna watch Kill Counts. I'll let James A. Janice tell me my things, and I'll go from there.
I don't know what they're doing with that tag team division because it's like you got that. We all thought that was going to be Stax and the Don who would win the titles, but then you got this whole thing
where titles.
Yes, you got the Creeds and the Dyad who are doing a loser leaves NXT match on Tuesday.
Which I saw a spoiler because people suck, so I won't reveal it.
Oh, was it filmed?
Because it's on Tuesdays 4th of July, so they filmed it already. Because America.
Yeah, just like Collision was filmed already.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything for Collision.
I've had to keep it away, just like I had to keep away from Twitter when SmackDown was filmed at 3:00 and not 8.
Yeah, and people were like tweeting shit at like 5. I was like, what is going on? A-holes.
Yeah. But like the run through, you got Lost Authority who's coming back, so I'm like, okay, this is what they're trying to do to bring at least one tag team back by adding them down. It's like they're losing all these tag teams, and then they're debuting a tag team, I think, in a week or two. I forget their name.
I can't remember the names off the top of my head. They're like childhood best friends. So them, Briggs and Jensen, Aegis and Anafe, the World War security guard, and his friend Gallus.
It seems like they're giving more of a platform to Idris and what's his partner's name? Idris and Emus or whatever his name is.
Anafe and Blade.
Idris and Blade, yeah. Yeah, they got like the new gear and more of a platform now.
I'm just glad they're not doing that stupid we have to fight each other to know each other better, because when we ask each other what our favorite things are, they're not the same bullshit.
Oh yeah, I mean they're also trying to make Reggie and Axiom a tag team, which I know Matt's so excited for.
They're doing what WWE, the main roster does, pit two singles guys as partners together, which I used to be all about NXT because they'd be like, okay, we're just going to do actual tag teams. Like you got the Creeds and whatnot, but now they're going against it. But then I did read where the Endeavor deal is supposed to be done soon, and they're saying that's going to have a big effect on NXT and then Raw, where they're going to change up a lot. They just had to hold back a little bit until the deal's done. Like,
I wonder what. I mean, are we, because it's UFC? Are we bringing Raw Underground back permanently? Is that why we're bringing it back on NXT?
Well, I know one of the things they're trying to do is they're trying to bring NXT back on the road. They're actually going to film like episodes on the road and then do like the smaller venues like they used to, like as like live events, instead of just sticking to Florida.
I don't know if I can answer Tom's question because like there's so many. I talked about Wednesday Night Wallop. I really enjoyed doing that show. Vince booked those guests. We had a fucking blast. Anything clusterfuck. If it has clusterfuck
I was
in
gonna
the title,
say any of the clusterfucks.
Those are always really fucking fun. I also like the episodes that I did with Travis during the pandemic where like we went back and watched old episodes of Raw. That's where Pogs on Pogs came in. That's where wrestling inspired dildos and One Fall, all that started. And that was always fun as shit. Yeah, it's really hard. Any and everything I do with Bakley because he's here. So Bakley, all the Bakley episodes are my favorite. Thanks, Clark Street. Devin, having Devin on and him sitting there in my face and saying nice things about Matt Riddle and me telling him he gets his one.
I was there for that.
But yeah, no, the Chicago collabs are always cool and fucking fun to do. Yeah, it's really hard to pick one episode out of 300. It really is.
Yeah. I've been on a lot. I couldn't tell you how many I've been on.
I'm trying to think of how many I've listened to or watched because it has been a lot, but it seems like it has.
The roast of Vince was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had that episode where the chat was just going off about. Well, there was a roast of Vince, and there was another one that was kind of. It felt like a she-lead chat.
It was the Chatgasm one?
Yes, Chatgasm. Chatgasm was great.
Yeah, because I was pissed that like people who usually aren't there when I'm there are in the chat. Cough, cough. Advocate. And I yelled at him for that after the fact. I was like, what the fuck? I don't show up for 1 week and you're in their chat. Disrespectful. But it's because it's you, so whatever.
I'm also surprised that Devin hasn't asked me why I'm not wearing a shirt yet, but
maybe he just sees the tattoos and isn't paying attention.
Tonight might be my favorite episode just because everyone that came on that wasn't in the chat that saw me as soon as they got added without a shirt on was like, what the fuck are you doing? Tits out for 300.
Honestly, wasn't surprised.
I knew you were doing it. As soon as I joined, I was like laughing.
No one's been paying attention, but I've just slowly been stripping as the weeks go on. So like I was in my regular t-shirts and then I was in sleeveless t-shirts and then I was in a tank top and now I'm just topless.
It's because, see, here's the thing. You've yelled at me to show shoulder.
I've never yelled at you to show shoulder. I have just said that we
strongly encouraged me
better on
to
Pornhub.
wear things that expose my shoulders. So I did. Plus, it's summer now. It's hot as fuck in here because my AC's turned off because it's too loud, so I have a fan. So this actually feels nice. But like when you start wearing tank tops, I was like, "That's my thing." That's
also
make.
This is how I exist. Oh, go ahead, Bigley.
I said, ironically, the first episode I did, I was sleeveless.
Yeah.
Everyone take my gimmick. You passed it.
No, this is actually like 90% of the time how I exist. Like
that's fair.
In the wild, when not on podcast.
In the
literally,
you mean in your house?
I go outside. That's how I got this tan. Like
in your yard.
Yeah, well, I mean, I walk. Well, I guess that's technically my front yard too. But like, yeah, no. If you like come over anytime during the week, my mother-in-law is here 3 days a week, and I literally am just in gym shorts walking around my house. It's like no different than a bathing suit. Like, but yeah, no. Everywhere I go, everything I do in the house, unless I actually like have to leave to go somewhere, because you know, no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Mm-hmm.
I'm topless 90% of the time.
That's totally okay.
Just out in the wild, scrounging for food.
I'm trying to think of other.
Talking about out in the wild, and you got a guy from Australia in the chat.
He knows what he's talking about.
He knows.
I like to explore Tom's bush. Isn't that what they call the wild in Australia? The bush.
It is, and the only reason I know is because my.
Wow, he thought I was that white. Damn.
The only reason I know that is because my youngest son watches Bluey, and it's an Australian cartoon.
Ah,
dude, we love Bluey. We fucking love Bluey.
My niece watches Bluey.
He literally watched 20 episodes today.
It's a great fucking show.
It is.
Bluey.
No, we love us some Bluey. I love that Johnny Gargano discovered and loves Bluey and talked about Bluey, because then I felt seen as a dad watching wrestling, hearing another dad talk about Bluey. Bluey is fantastic. I learned so much from Bluey.
Thank you to Disney Plus. I'll just say that.
Hell yeah.
It's such a good show. For like no reason.
Just carrying deer over my shoulder. Carry a lot of things over my shoulder.
I'm not even.
What?
No.
Groceries, coats.
Coats.
Slinging over
An
my shoulder.
abundance of coats. Multiple. Matt, what was your favorite clusterfuck episode? So, like, there's been if I can remember correctly, you can prove me wrong. To my knowledge, there are 4.
If that's the case, you are an awesome dad, Tom.
True.
Just, because Bandit's fantastic.
Truth.
Well,
I think there's 4 clusterfucks.
well, I know there's Clusterfuck. I know there's Clusterfuck 2.0. There was something. Hold on.
I was gonna say, look it up, because the first one was me, you, Pretty Kyle, and Charlie, and that's when we kept saying that Charlie was locked in Pretty Kyle's basement, and that's the episode that Travis and Mara came in, and Travis was hammered, and they only stayed for a few minutes. I believe there was a clusterfuck that involved Warren and Pretty Kyle and possibly Charlie. Maybe one of the clusterfucks was when it was like me, you, Travis, Jizzy, and like somebody else. Maybe Just.
Do you remember what BBFP stood for?
Oh, wait. I feel like I know. I want to say the last P was penis, but like I can't tell you the first 3 letters because the thumbnail's Rhea, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not looking at the.
Oh, you're not looking at thumbnails?
No, I'm looking at episode titles in. Two Brides, One Gangbang was a good one too.
That was who? That was who? All was
I
that?
think Jizzy was on there.
I'm just gonna look.
If you go to Pornhub, it is like one of our most viewed. If you go to most viewed, because it has gangbang in the title.
Oh, I'm just going to YouTube.
I wonder if I could get away with doing a TikTok where I just read the titles of our shows. Oh, Baskin' Our Clusterfuck was one.
That was
episode 231. Baskin' Our Clusterfuck.
Me, you, and Pretty Kyle. From the look of it, that was episode 231.
Mm-hmm.
Baskin' Our Clusterfuck.
Oh, I know what. Honestly, if there is one, Tom, if you're still here and you're listening, there is one episode that's my favorite that if you haven't checked out, you should go check out. It is episode 216. Clown Paint, Tears, Scissoring, and the Draft.
That was me and you.
Yes. That is absolutely one of my favorite. There's Clusterfuck 2.0.
Now I want to like
Post SummerSlam Clusterfuck.
Yes.
So there's Baskin' Our Clusterfuck, Post SummerSlam Clusterfuck, Clusterfuck, and Clusterfuck 2.0.
Yes.
Okay.
Need a lot of clusterfucks.
By the way, there's a rumor. It might make you happy. Ronda might be leaving WWE to go back to UFC.
Oh, she gonna get her ass kicked there too. Good. I'll watch her lose. Two Brides, One Gangbang was Matt, me, you, Reek, and Tim.
Okay.
What was the other ones you said?
Because our titles are one of my favorite things for the show. Like, yeah, we have Fire and Desire, but like Pull the Demon Out, Double Stuffed Oreo was a fun one. Stunt Cheeks, 50 Shades of Samoan. Thank You, Sir, May I Have Another. Katie Swallows Everything.
Yeah, that was the time.
Devil's Three-Way. The Smash or Pass episode for the draft was fun. Trunk Match, Bang Bang Twins, Brody Loads Explodes, Got MILF, Clash of the Cakes, Riho came strapped. Freedom and daddy issues. Bumping pretties.
Bumping pretties.
Post-traumatic sex dungeon.
Yup.
Lotion in the basket. Finger popping off.
Finger popping off.
Team fire crotch.
Lotion in the basket was me, you, and Bakley.
Yep. Golden showers. Collective chatgasm. Girl bosses snowballing anal beads.
That
is
was
literally a
the
title of an
below.
episode that I did.
The episode below.
Mommy It Burns.
Size doesn't matter.
Legendary, which was you
Power
and Vince
bottoms,
without
you know?
me, and I gave Vince so much shit for that.
I just came from SmackDown, and he was like, "This is gonna be the title."
Sounds like a library of plastics. Put your mouth on it. Put your mouth on it.
Mm-hmm.
Episode title. Power bottom Cena. Size doesn't matter. Wi-Fi does.
Yes, because Jesus Christ.
Dick riding without a license.
Mm-hmm.
Choke on that. Slap nuts. Not very UC. BBFP, which I'm actually going to go listen to because I want to know.
And
I'm assuming it's big black fucking penis, but I'm not 100% sure, and I need to know.
Yeah, because like I knew Rio was gonna be I knew Rio was the thumbnail. I distinctly remembered it, but I can't.
That's what makes the show as well as the people coming in trying to help you make a name of the weekly show, putting ideas out there, then using them because it makes you have to listen and then watch the show.
What else we got? I'm a man, damn it. Acknowledge these nuts. Snap, crackle, pop me. War Joe fucks hard.
One of my favorite titles of all time.
Yes.
Solo strap on. In public. I think it was supposed to be smacking it in public. I don't know why it just.
Oh, it says it
in
on
public.
It says it on YouTube that it's smacking it in public.
I think Travis. Wrestling Blue Chew. Banger after banger. Tim must have been on that one.
No, it was you, Vince, and I can't tell who from Marks with Mikes, I think. I can't.
Probably
I can't tell who that is.
Probably Cheech.
Maybe.
Scissor Party. Handcuffs and hung bucks. No, nothing from you with handcuffs and hung bucks there, Katie?
I don't remember that one.
Choke Me Out, Poppy. Katie was definitely on that one.
I was. You're correct.
Who's Your Daddy?
Mm-hmm.
Then the 5th anniversary special. Fear Boner. Fear Boner was a really good one.
That was me, you, Tim, and Bakley.
Yep. See, look at that. Right there. That combination. Moose Knuckle. The Power of Scissoring.
Mm-hmm.
Forbidden Balls. Another one of my favorites. Cupcakes and Hand Jobs.
That was the episode with Nick.
Yep.
I was on vacation.
New format, Who Dis, which is when we started doing the Spitter Swallow format.
Mm-hmm.
Scissor Me Ass Daddy. Mm-hmm. Something Anal. Cocksmith, which I know for a fact was me, Kyle, and Charlie.
And Vince.
And Vince.
Yes.
FedEx Always Delivers. Shout out to Ray. Sex Toy Jutsu. 2 Brides, 1 Gangbang. Bed Bath & Beyond. Raw and Dirty. Championship Money Shots. Dry Humpathon.
Was it was you, Vince, and it was Just and Daryl, I think, in the hotel room.
Yeah, I remember that one. Roadblocks and Flying Cocks. I always like doing like 2 words that rhyme and putting an and in the middle, and Vince was against that for so long.
Hated
He's like,
that for so long.
You can't be this and this every episode. I'm like, why not?
It works.
Yeah. No Protection. Everyone Loves Balls.
That was that episode.
Botched Spots and Undefined Directions.
Mm-hmm.
Bikini Bottoms and BBC. And then Swallowing Danhausen and Swallowing Raw. And then just, I think it was supposed to be Smackin It NXT. And it just says NXT.
Yeah, it's Smackin It NXT.
Brand Split Be Damned.
Mm-hmm.
Sex, Drugs, and More Releases.
Mm-hmm.
Barney Slapping Kids was something we did.
Yes.
Katie, how do we forget? Everybody Trying to Fuck.
That was the episode where it was me, you, Travis, Just, and Jizzy.
Everybody Trying to Fuck is a great episode.
Everybody Trying to Fuck is one of those good ones.
Yep.
Hands down.
Clown Paint Tears, Scissoring in the Draft.
Classic.
The Demon Cracks His Nut. It should say Nia Jax Goes All Out, but it says Nia Jazz on here for some reason.
Sounds about right.
I think we've read enough, but those are the really good ones.
There's a lot of good episodes.
Yeah.
Episode 200 alone, like, that was so fun. Looking at where I was then versus where I am now, I like barely talked in that episode. I was just letting everyone make their innuendos and things like that. And I was just hanging out. So happy to be there. Waiting to leave the beach to drive the 13 hours home. Yeah, it was time. And then here we are now.
Just so you know, Bakley, my Impact hating gimmick has been going on since at least 2020 because the last episode of 2020 was Who Watches Impact? Episode 175. Who watches Impact?
That's hysterical.
Also, I didn't really get to talk about it. I kind of talked about it, but the fact that I've podcasted with Fowl, who's in Europe, England, Frank, who's in Italy, you know, the people all over Canada, people all over the United States, all these people from like across the world, and very soon, Tom, hopefully, check that Australian off, is insane. Like, I'm meeting and doing this with people from other countries.
Yeah. It's so fucking weird to like think about sometimes.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think we've done about all we can do here at 3 hours and 16 minutes. If anyone's still even listening.
I couldn't tell you.
But Bakley, thank you for finishing eating and joining us. If I had known, so apparently the limit was 10 people, and I didn't know who was coming, what was going on, so I was trying to get as many people in and out as possible. I was also surprised everyone hung out. Like, when I told everyone, hey, you can leave whenever you want, the fact that everyone hung out as long as they did, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. But
I honestly was hoping that you didn't send it to me right away so I could so it gave me a reason to finish eating, and then you're like, where's he at? And I'm like, let me finish.
But if you guys are still watching, at least two of you, from what I can tell, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for celebrating episode 300 with us. Thank you, everyone that was on tonight, even though this is not going to be in the episode. And this is the stuff Katie said I should have done to close out the episode. Thank you, Katie and Bakley, for hanging out with me till 3:20 in the morning for you guys. I appreciate all of it. You guys are awesome.
Anytime.
Yeah.